all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
It made you.
One of these days, I'm gonna figure out the timing. That Freddie's got 2 promos, but they're like 20 minutes apart. I'm gonna figure that out. Hey, welcome to the Reformed Real Talk, where we keep it classy and we keep our opinions pretty much out in the open, but we leave our emotions at the door. Welcome to the 90-day intern Savannah to the show. Savannah, well, say what's up to the people. Say something.
What's up?
And then we move over to our boy Mike Hughes. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm vibing.
Yeah, I like the sweatshirt. Hold it up one time so the people can see your sweatshirt. Yeah, he spent all of his lunch money that Mama gave him, and he bought him an ASAP shirt.
Oh, yeah. He's dedicated to the cause. I love it.
Hey, one of these days, my mom's gonna give me some lunch money. I'm gonna give me a damn shirt.
Yeah.
Ray, how you feeling, brother?
Good, man. Busy day, but excited to get into all these topics, man.
Yes, there is quite the few of them. And Freddie, I saved you for last because I figured you'd be the most long-winded. Say what's up to the people, Freddie.
What's going on, everybody? You know, there's a reason why I haven't showed my face yet. But I think it's time that I need to come on the screen and show my face. And I have a little gift for Jay McLovin as well. As you guys can see, I'm down here at the 18th.
You're a fan now.
I got the star behind me. Hey, I'm down. I talked to old Jerry Jones and the crew, and we just we vibed today. We just ready to do the show.
You know, Freddie, you're out there in Marshall, Texas. One of these days, man, I'm gonna find your house. I'm gonna toilet paper it and put a sign that says I'm a Cowboys fan in your front yard. But until then, you just you don't know when I'm gonna pop up, but one of them I'm gonna pop up, Freddie. You're in my backyard. I know where you are.
Y'all think he's joking? He might be for real.
Who's that creeping in my window? All right. Anyway, we're gonna get on to our first topic, man. Hey, weekend picks. We got some good games coming up. We got Freddie's second team that he covets the most, the Packers versus the 49ers. Hey, looking like a good game. It's looking like a good game. You know, according to the stat guy, right, Siri, the stat guy, Dustin, he says that the 49ers have never lost, or at least the last three attempts, they've been successful in one in Aaron's backyard. So the whole notion of them, how they're going to do in the cold weather, I guess it's kind of out. Jimmy G, you know, I guess he's going to, according to Dustin, he says they're going to be successful. I'm still leaning towards the Packers winning. I think Aaron Rodgers is not going to let that go by, but I got the Packers winning that one. And then what else we got? Buffalo and Kansas City. I got Buffalo going up there and taking some revenge out on Patrick Mahomes. I think that's going to work out well. And then who else we got? The Rams and the Bucks. I'm taking the Rams. And I think that they're going to take care of Tom Brady. Aaron Donald and Von Miller are going to take care of Tom Brady. They put pressure on him, which is going to force him out of the pocket where he likes to covet, and I think he makes some errors. What is it? Let's see. That's 3. What's the last one? Tennessee Titans. We got who are the Titans playing? Cincinnati Bengals. That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game. And I'm gonna go. But I'm staying with my boys, Tennessee. And I say my boys because they used to be out in Houston. They used to be the Oilers, and we never could beat the Bengals. If y'all don't remember back in the day when Ickey Woods was around, the Houston Oilers, Cincinnati Bengals were arch rivals, and they played hard every time. They always played hard against each other. And the Oilers always came out on the lower end of it, unfortunately. But so I'm gonna take the Titans. I think the fortune is gonna turn for those guys, and I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. Freddie, who you picking and why you picking them?
I'm gonna go with the Bengals out of the Titans. Like I said, Joe Burrow. You can definitely when you look at him and the receiver, they got a connection. Already when you look at Joe Burrow, that you have the same look like you have when you look at Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. That he has that it factor. And I believe that they're going to make enough plays. Even though Derrick Henry will be back on his first game back, I'm not sure what Derrick Henry, what stage of Derrick Henry we're getting. I'm not sure or will he be able to go for a $150 with a touchdown or two? I'm not sure. They're gonna have to work him back in the game for missing, quite some time as well. So that's why I'm going with the Bengals. And I'm going. You already know I'm going with Green Bay because they got that bad man in Aaron Rodgers. They still got Devontae Adams. They're getting healthy at the right time. This will be the most healthiest they've been all year. They're getting their all-time lineman back this week. They're getting their all-time cornerback this week. You have Randall Cobb coming back as well. Aaron Rodgers, he hear the slander, he hear all the talk. I believe he's coming in a little bit more extra motivated. You're right, he have not beat the 49ers in the playoffs. But I do believe that that narrative will be changed, and he's going to show everybody why he's that bad of a man. Um, and so when we talk about the Rams, and we're talking about the Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I will not disrespect the GOAT and Tom Brady. I will not slander him. I will not discredit what this man can do, because I do believe Tom Brady has been in situations like this before, even though his team might not be as heavily as stacked as they were early in the season. I do understand that, but they will have Leonard Fournette. They will have Rob Gronkowski. They will have Mike Evans in that defense to make things happen. I do believe Tom Brady will come in this game. He will not be looking for the long threat, but he'll be looking for the shorter pass because he is going against a great defense in the Rams that's clicking at the right time and right moment. One thing that we do know going into this game, that the moment the lights will not get too bright for Tom Brady. For Matthew Stafford, this is the first time that we'll see him in a situation like this in his career. We're not too sure if he'll get a little nervous going against Tom Brady. We shall see that. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a field goal. And then probably the high scoring game of the weekend will probably be the Bills and the Chiefs. You're talking about two offenses that is clicking at the right time. The Buffalo Bills defense has improved. It is a good defense as well. But like I've been saying, man, when you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have Tyreek Hill, you have Kelsey, that big three, I will not take the Bills over those big three at all. Patrick Mahomes, I expect him to be great. We did see a little bit of it going against Pittsburgh. Granted, it is Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh do have a pretty decent defense as well. So I would not be surprised if it's a slugfest if they just throw the ball all over the field, and this basically just come to the last drive of the game and see whoever get the ball last. I'm going to Chiefs. I'm going to Chiefs by 7.
Hey, real quick, Devontae Adams for the Tennessee Titans averaged, like I said, 4.3 yards. Henry was averaging 4.3 yards in the season. I'm not saying that Devontae is by any means is Travis Henry, but he was producing for this year at least the same amount of yards per average. So I think Derrick Henry, hopefully he does come back and he, to his original form. But if not, if they still have 4.3 yards, what they've had all season, 4.3 yards still got them, in where they are now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that whole dynamic works out. Hopefully he does come back. And Nick Bosa, obviously, is most likely, I'm guessing, is going to be out for the 49ers. So that's a big loss right there on their defense going up against Aaron Rodgers. So that should be interesting.
I think he's back out of the protocol. He should be good.
Is he back now? Is he out of the concussion protocol?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big lift for them. I mean, they needed that.
I mean, you could say he's back, but he's
right. Hey, one more ding to the head. He won't even remember where the post office is. But hey, that is what it is. Hey, Ray, how you feeling about these picks, man? Who do you have going for this weekend, brother?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a tough week for me. There's a lot of head over heart picks that I'm gonna have to make. I'm gonna be rooting against a lot of potentially my picks, but I have a job to do here, so I'm gonna keep it 100. I really want to believe in Cincinnati. I'm just concerned that they're going on the road Tennessee has played really well. I think they will be able to run the ball regardless. They can't guard anybody, so I think Jamar Chase will have a big game. But I am going to take the veteran leadership, so to speak, of Tennessee over the young coach and the young quarterback and the young receiver. So I got Tennessee in a close one, but I think Tennessee will get it done when it gets down late. I will be curious to see how Cincinnati handles itself in a close game when the pressure's on versus when they're just running away in a blowout. I think it's a lot easier to play with the lead. So I'm going to lean Tennessee. The running game travels and they're at home. For the other Saturday game, I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think it's going to be close if Green Bay can't stop the run, which they haven't shown that they can consistently do versus good teams. Their yards per carry, I've done kind of some of the research. It's kind of misleading because they haven't played against a lot of teams that run the ball a lot, but the stats look good. I think San Francisco will be able to run the ball, and I have absolutely no faith in Jimmy Garoppolo to make the plays when he needs to make them. We've seen him time and time again come up small in some of the biggest moments, whether it be the Super Bowl, whether it be playoff games. Even last week, he tried to give that game away. I think he is ripe for the taking, and he'll make one of those mistakes that you just can't stand, but it will cost them the game. So I got Green Bay in a close game because I think they will be able to run the ball, but I think they'll pull it out because Jimmy G will give it away. On Sunday, Tom Brady's Tom Brady. I've been very, very clear on how I feel about Tom Brady here. I have also been very, very strong for Matt Stafford. A lot of that is based on the fact that I've been pushed against the wall to compare him to Kyler Murray and that he should have been a Pro Bowler. But if I got to take Tom or Stafford, I'm definitely taking Tom. I just think until somebody beats him, I'm not picking against them. I've lost a lot of money and had a lot of heartache over the years. And I just feel he'll figure out a way to get it done, especially if they get Fournette back. I think he's still up in the air, but that would help.
This is questionable, yeah.
So if he comes back, I think that'll be huge because I do think they will need to run the ball some to keep that defensive line off of them. I do think Ramsey's a great matchup for Evans. I think the big physical corner is going to give Evans a lot more trouble versus quick receivers that typically Ramsey has trouble with. But it's Tom Brady. And so I'm picking Tom Brady to get it done. And then last but certainly not least, I think probably what most of us believe will be the most exciting game. Typically when that happens, it's not in Buffalo. I have no idea what the weather will be. I think that will play some of a factor. Granted, Kansas City can have bad weather too. But if it's a game where it's windy or for whatever reason you can't throw the ball a lot, I definitely think that will favor Buffalo because I think even though the running game's not great, it's better, and Josh Allen can run better than Patrick Mahomes. I am still picking Kansas City to go on the road. I believe they're on the road. No, they're at home. I take that back. So they're at home. But Arrowhead, definitely, my bad. I got Kansas City regardless. I think Kansas City wins by 10, and they'll make some big plays where Buffalo's defense just won't be able to get the stops that they need.
You know, and I really believe that with Tom, like you said, when you're talking about Tom Brady and the LA Rams, I really think the biggest key for the LA Rams to beat the Brady and the Bucs is Darnold and Von Miller getting pressure to Brady. If they get pressure to Brady and don't allow him to sit in the pocket, I think the Rams win that. But if they don't get pressure on Brady, they allow him to sit in that pocket, then I can see where Brady will pick them apart and take that. So I see it. So it's going to depend on their defense, absolutely.
But I think the other thing to that, and I think it'll be on Arians to come up with a game plan, is to get the short crosses. I think Gronk is going to be huge because he's not going to be able to hold the ball and push the ball down the field. So I think the game plan will be one in which it'll go side to side, try and tire that defense out. Hopefully they can run it some, even with Vaughn, he's quick. So I still got Tampa. But I agree. If they get pressure on Brady, it could get ugly.
And you know what else? Don't look past that other tight end, Brait. That dude seems to come up in the craziest of times, but he'll make great catches just out of nowhere. So, I mean, I don't look past Brait either. I mean, you never know with that guy. All right, Kenny, welcome to the show, brother. A little late, but welcome to the show. We love having you, brother. Say what's up to the people first.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm late. But
that's all right. All
We
right,
know
hey, I
it was
see you got a
a
New York shirt on, man, but you support the Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand the conundrum, but okay.
He jumped off the bandwagon quick. We understand what it's like.
It's basketball season for me.
I was
man.
saying, did we switch teams already? Damn.
No, it's basketball season. Football.
Oh, that's why
season
you're
is
a Knicks
over.
fan. Okay, I got you.
Hey, Kenny, I want to update you, my brother.
Football season is over, as far as I'm concerned.
Kenny, I
Football
want to
season's
update
been
you.
over for Freddie since Labor Day.
I think it was over right at training
You guys
camp, but
play-
okay, I'll give you Labor Day.
Y'all play
Hey.
one more game than the rest of us.
Hey, but Kenny, okay, we've been talking about the picks for the upcoming weekend in this particular divisional round. Who are you picking this division, brother?
Well, I think I'm definitely leaning towards Kansas City, like Ray, against Buffalo. I just think they just have, to borrow a Clark Kellogg phrase, a spurt ability. Like that offense just has that ability to just turn it on and put together multiple scoring drives. So if your offense isn't clicking and if you're not able to match that type of explosiveness ability that they have, then it's a challenge. And I think the issue with Buffalo is that their running game, they don't have the offense to really control the clock to keep Kansas City's offense off the field. So I think their offense is almost like tailor-made to go up against Kansas City because they got they got that passing game attack, and they try to strike from the outside, kind of similar to Kansas City. And I don't think there's too many. I don't think there's really any team, maybe with the exception of Green Bay and maybe Tampa Bay, when they have all the pieces that can match that offensive firepower. So I'm going there. In terms of on that side of the AFC semifinals. And then the other one, I'm actually picking an upset. I'm going with Cincinnati. I'm going with Cincinnati against Tennessee. I just think that they have they just have like a mojo with them. They got I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say if factor. I just think they got a mojo with them. They got I think they just have that Cinderella type of run situation going on. And I just think the connection between Jamar Chase and between Joe Burrow is something special. And I'm just not sure if Tennessee secondary can really limit that attack. So I'm going with the upset there. Then on the NFC side, I can't go against Brady. I said it the other day. I'm not going against Brady. I'm going to pick Tampa against the Rams, and then I got the rematch. Green Bay is going to. I think Green Bay is on a mission this year. I think Aaron Rodgers, I should say, is on a mission this year, and I think this is his last go around. And I think he's determined to go out with the Super Bowl. So I just think that they're going to butt heads again, and we get the matchup. I think that pretty much the NFL wants to see, and most of the fans want to see, in terms of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers battling for that in the NFC Championship. So those are my picks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Question, though. So the last time Buffalo played Kansas City, they blew them out 38-20 in Kansas City, mind you, which is exactly where they're going back to. And Patrick Mahomes threw for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Mm-hmm. And Allen threw for 310, I think it's 310 or 315 with 3 touchdowns. And he ran for 59 yards on 11 carries and 1 touchdown. So, given the knowledge where they were in the regular season, do you think that's going to have any bearing on the playoffs and when they do the rematch?
I don't know. I mean, that's the best case scenario for Buffalo to win this game is for Josh to have a big day and for Patrick Mahomes to turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? I think everything kind of broke right for them in that game in terms of Kansas City turning the ball over and Mahomes not being, playing at the level that he normally plays at. So I just can't see that happening twice.
Because the reason why I ask you that is he just came off of a 7 straight touchdown performance against New England, which has Bill Belichick at the helm and a fairly good defense. And they
no, absolutely. If you had to pick between the two, you would take New England's defense over Kansas City's defense. If most people would pick New England's defense to say that they're better. So I just think, at home and also, like I said, I just don't think Mahomes is going to turn the ball over like he did that last game.
All right, and then we move on to our boy Mike Hughes from Chicago. There's no skin in the game whatsoever, and hasn't had skin in the game on the football side in quite a long time. But Mike, it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel your pain, brother.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the Super Bowl. I haven't seen the Super Bowl since 1996 when Savannah wasn't even alive.
Hey, I was born that year.
Again, what month and day? Because I don't think you were born. If you were, you were an infant.
I was born in July.
There you go, July.
So that was after the Super Bowl was in the winter, so it was after you were born.
Yeah, she got about a little bit, but she just has no recognition.
She came.
Mike, give me your picks, man. Who you got? Who you got in this divisional round, bro?
Right, like Ray said, just one more game than the rest of us. So I'll let you have that, I guess. But it is what it is. For me, though, I got to go with Joey B. I got to go with them LSU boys for the Bengals-Titans game. And I've said it time and time again is I think they finally found a rhythm with that offense, and they're finally clicking and throwing Derrick Henry back in there. Not that it's going to be a negative thing because it's never going to be a negative thing, but it's definitely going to be something to where it changes your offense and it changes what this team is used to be doing the last several weeks since probably late September, early October when Derrick went down. It's coming to the point to where you have to look at that and Jesus, we've interviewed everybody. They interviewed me this morning, but it's definitely something you have to look at it and you have to think that, Cincinnati's defense, and I'll give them credit to this, they got a lot of playoff guys. They're not big name guys, but they're experienced guys and they understand what it takes. So when we talk about the veteran leadership on the offensive side of Tennessee, which is slim to none, to be honest, because Julio Jones isn't Julio Jones of old. And Ryan Tannehill's playoff experience has never really done anything for Ryan Tannehill. So I'm not going to sit here and act like that means anything. So I really do think the way they're playing, and like Ray said, he made a great point, they can't cover anybody to save their ass. So the fact of the matter is not only is it just a regular wide receiver, but it's wide receivers that are the best in the game right now. You have T. Higgins, you have Boyd, you have Jamar Chase, you have a bunch Ozuma and a bunch of other guys that are doing it. And then you have to look at from their perspective with the run game. You have Joe Mixon, who's doing his thing from the passing game and from the running game. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati boys. I'm loving what I'm seeing over there. Joey B has the swag. Joey B has the charisma. But he's definitely humbled to the point to where he knows he needs to be better. And he said that. And I love that. I love that about this team right now. And as for the Packers, I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to completely flip on it. I think the 49ers outperform them offensively in so many different categories, whether it's with Elijah Mitchell with the run game, George Kittle, Ayuk, Debo is a different breed, and I love them. And having Bosa back means everything. But at the end of the day, we talk about how they've been 3-0 against them in the playoffs, but that was with Colin Kaepernick and that was with Jim Harbaugh, and this is Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. So that's not the same team at all. And I really look at it like that, and the way Jimmy's performed, I think at the end of the day, I would take, even though Jimmy does have all of those weapons, is he going to use them? So I truly do think at the end of the day that, Aaron Rodgers is going to outperform him. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. And I think Aaron Jones and Dylan, obviously, never know if it's Dylan or Dylan's, but it's definitely something to where
there's no S on it. So it's Dylan.
There's no S on it because I know there's a Dylan's. I just don't know.
Look, Mike, let me help you out. There's no S on it. It's Dylan, bro.
I didn't know. I'm
here for you, Mike. You believe that? I'm here for you. You believe that?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Jay. Okay. But that's why we call you McLovin. But
I agree.
I think Green Bay gets it. I think Green Bay takes it. They understand it's the last dance, and they understand what this is going to take. I don't think the offense has anything to do with this game. I think it's all about Green Bay's defense. Having Alexander back, having Douglas step up and be that guy he's been since getting picked up by the Cardinals. Great pickup, but I think there's a lot of different ways it can go, and I think Green Bay sniffs out with it. And for the LA Rams, it's my favorite. It's my favorite category because I do think the NFC Conference Championship is going to be Matthew Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's the craziest story of all. Because it's the guy who shit on Matthew Stafford his entire career.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is. And I think that's going to speak volumes to it. And I don't – like Ray said, I have lost a lot of money to whatever Pride always says, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., whatever the hell his name is. I've lost a lot of money to that cat. And Nick Foles is the only one that's ever, done it for me. to be able to win me money. But I do think at the end of the day, like you said, what makes this so much different and why they lost the first time, there were three intangibles to why the Rams lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. One, there was no Jalen Ramsey. I think that speaks volumes to everything. And I think that's a big thing that people aren't realizing is it's just Mike Evans. And like Ray said, he's just a big body. He's not a vertical threat. He's not fast. He's not like, Godwin. He's not like Antonio Brown. So Ramsey can solely focus on that. They have Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, and Aaron Donald to be able to obtain those guys like Gronk, Bates, and Leonard Fournette if he's there. If he's not, I don't care who the other kid's name is. I know he had a touchdown last week, but that was against the Eagles. It's not happening again. I do think, my boy, I love him, Scotty Miller, but he's not getting past Ramsey and them boys. It's just not happening. And then the second 2 points is, you look at Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was not around at that time. He had, what did he have? He had a disease in his knee, and he couldn't play in the Super Bowl as effectively as he wanted to. And now they have Cam Akers back. And like I told you guys last week, I felt like Cam Akers was going to be a big part of this offense, and he was. So I do think that's a big part. And Matthew Stafford has balls, and that was the difference between him and Jared Goff. It has nothing to do with their play styles, nothing they do. But Matthew's down for it. Matthew wants the smoke. So I'm honestly going to say I'm going to give it to the Rams. I think McVay has learned his lesson. I think he's learned from his past, and I'm really excited for that. I think that's the game of the week. And then Bills versus Chiefs. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on,
Hey.
Jay, I'm going to say it.
You know what I'm saying?
I've taken Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes before, and I'm going to do it again. Say
it with your chest, Mike. Say it with your chest.
I'll double down on it. I'm going to take the Bills.
Say it with your chest.
As of right now, Mitchell Trubisky has 100 times more career playoff wins than Matt Nagy. But that's neither here nor there, Ray. That's neither here nor there. So I'll leave it at that. I'm just going to give it to the Bills. I think they're playing great defense. They're playing great ball. And at the end of the day, I do think the difference is, Kenny kind of mentioned it, but not to say Kenny's wrong because he has a valid point. But if you look at the last 5 weeks, they have been running the ball amazingly, and they have been doing it at an effective rate. The entire season, it was horrible. And Singletary is 5'6", slow, and fat. And I'm not going to say he's not. He is. But he's using them, and he's being productive, and he's being that. And Moss has been being productive. Josh Allen's been being productive. So I'm really liking what we're seeing from them. My boy Knox finally getting the credit he deserves because Knox is one hell of a tight end. I think he's top 10, somewhere from like 7 to 10, though. I ain't going to sit here and say he's top 5, but I definitely do think he's talented. Diggs is talented. Beasley's talented. These guys can go. You have Sanders. You have a bunch of guys that I truly do believe in on this offense. The problem with the Chiefs is that defense. I don't think they can stop the run.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, at the end of the day, that's what's going to hold them. And you know that Tyreek Hill's banged up, and you know that Travis Kelce's banged up. The difference is there's no Sammy Watkins this year. There's no Kareem Hunt. There's nothing. Like, I don't trust CEH or Williams to run the ball. I don't think either of them are real red zone threats. And I think that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. So I'm going to take the Bills.
Hey, Mike.
My boy Mike right there. Good observation. Real quick question, though. Matthew Stafford gets a lot of flack, right? But that guy was buried in Detroit forever, in that purgatory. Where a friend of mine once said Detroit is where careers go to die.
Yeah.
Which is true. They go to die there. Because they don't give them no kind of real support on the coaching end, the management end, all kinds. But let me tell you something about Matthew Stafford, what he has done. He got Megatron the wide receiving record. He damn near got Cooper Kupp, who some people say is not a wide receiver one, which I don't quite understand that. But he almost got Cooper Kupp his broken record. People look past Matthew Stafford, and I'm telling you, that's good that they look past him because I think that is going to be the secret weapon that goes into Tampa Bay and surprises a lot of people. Yeah, he didn't get, he got 17 passes. But you know what? He works with the coaching system. He goes with what needs to be called. He could have thrown the ball 20, 30, 40 times. But the coaching staff had a certain game plan. And he followed that game plan. And he didn't turn the ball over. And he did great. And they won.
Right.
Watch.
Let me ask a question. Actually, this is for Jay. You can answer this too. Do you guys believe that Matthew Stafford can play mistake-free football?
I don't think he has. I
think he can. I think he can. Absolutely. He played mistake-free football the last game.
Right.
He
But
did.
I truly,
I'm just
Kenny, I
saying,
don't
like,
think he
in
has
order to beat Tom Brady,
Exactly. He's going to have to.
play mistake
Exactly.
free
And to your credit, I agree. And that's the thing, right, Kenny? That's the thing. They went all in. Matt McVay,
Right.
everybody went all in on Matthew Stafford. They gave it the whole world for Matthew Stafford. So he has no choice but to
Now,
play mistake-free football.
Kenny-
And let's be honest. Hold on a second. At Detroit, he was nobody. He couldn't get anything done. So when he goes to Rams, he has no excuse. There's nothing he can hide behind. There's no reason why he can't get a Super Bowl. And if he doesn't get a Super Bowl, then he is exposed.
Right. Now, Kenny, my thing is we even saw it this year. We saw it throughout the playoffs. And I'm not here to disrespect nobody, but Tom needs to play mistake-free football right now. Tom's the one that doesn't have the luxury of having all these weapons that can save him in the fourth or third quarter. Tom's the one that throws 2 interceptions a game. Tom's the one that makes mistakes. Tom's the one that forgets when it's fourth down because Khalil Mack has his ass wrapped up like a Christmas present. But that's neither here nor there. But I do think at the end of the day, Stafford's in a position to where he can make mistakes. You have Higbee, you have Odell, who's flourishing. You have Cooper Kupp, who's a wide receiver number 1. And you have Cam Akers and Henderson and Michelle and all these other cats out there. And McVay, who's calling plays and doing it at an effective rate to be able to save you from all these other problems. And honestly, if he had Woods, I don't even think we're having this conversation right now
Right.
to the point to where you think that, Tom's going to win this game. Tom's the one. You solely have Gronk and Evans. And somehow, some way, I think my boy Scotty Miller is going to come out with the MVP. But I can't rely on Scotty. I love Scotty for his name brand, and I love Scotty as a person, but he's not really a threat. So you have to look at it like that, and you have to understand Tom's the one that has more pressure on him right now than Stafford because they have other game plans other than just Stafford. Where Tom
And I'll say this. Hey, listen, he can't just sit in the pocket like he normally does. Tom, look, here's an example. The Falcons had the recipe. The problem with the Falcons is they went away from the recipe in the second half.
Yeah.
The first half, they locked him down for 28-3 because they had pressure on Tom, and Tom couldn't cut the mustard. The problem is they took the foot off the gas pedal on defense. They let the pressure up, and Tom picked them apart. Now, let me tell you something. You got the likes of Aaron Darnold coming bearing down on you, and you got Von Miller, Speedy Von Miller coming around the side, and you got Patrick Evans who can cover. The problem is if he can't get the ball, if he doesn't have enough time to get the ball to the deep threat, Evans, then he's got no choice but to go to Gronk. Right. And what if Gronk is hit, he gets knocked out of the game? Because we've seen already that Gronk has been injury prone throughout the season. There's so many questions on this Tampa Bay offense that if you get him outside the pocket, he is screwed. Absolutely screwed. And that's where I think the Rams have them. But we move on to Savannah, and we get her picks for this weekend. Savannah, darling, how you doing? Can I get your picks for this weekend? Tell me who you got.
So
whoever you say I'm betting on.
I am gonna start with my team first because I don't want to sit here and talk about them forever. Because I totally would. But for me, there's one person that stands out. And none of you guys have mentioned him is Zadarius Smith. And he's coming back, and he was a force to be reckoned with last year. And he has missed almost every single game. And he's actually healthy and cleared, and he's going to be playing. And him coming back with Jair Alexander. For me, it's I think the 49ers offense and the Packers offense are both going to be able to move the ball and score. It's for me who I think has a better defense and who's going to be able to keep them from continuously scoring. And I think that's going to be, with all the pieces that come back, that's going to be the Packers, especially with Devondre Campbell, stepping up, recently, Rizal Douglas, all these people. I think that they have a great defense to be able to put together a recipe to be able to not completely stop Debo and Kittle and stuff, but keep them from getting 100+ yards the entire game and scoring. So I'm gonna go with the Packers. I know that they have the highest spread. It's by 6 or something so. I think that the Packers are gonna be able to pull it out. I'm still scared. I will freak out the entire game, even though I'm very confident in them. So with Tennessee and the Bengals, I don't want to say I don't believe in Tennessee. I mean, I don't believe in Cincinnati because I do. I think that is kind of a Cinderella story, but I have to pick the Titans. I can't not pick the Titans with Derrick Henry coming back. It's just, for me, it just feels like he's a star. And obviously you don't expect him to have 200+ yards and 3 touchdowns, but I think he could have one of those games. He's healthy. He's playing for a reason. He's ready to come back. So I'm going to go with the Titans. Okay. With the Rams and the Bucks, I I can't pick against Tom Brady as much as I want to. Like, for me, the Bucs defense is good, and when Stafford turns it over, like he continuously turns it over, and the Bucs capitalize on those turnovers. They almost always score any type of points when they force turnovers. So I think the Bucs are going to end up winning by like 2 touchdowns because Stafford's going to throw probably 1 pick six and then maybe another interception or 2, and the Bucs are going to be able to capitalize off of it. And Tom Brady isn't going to have to. They're going to be ahead almost the entire game. He's not going to have to worry about being like pressured and having to throw it downfield and stuff because they're going to be leading. He's not going to be forced into those situations that he's not comfortable with. And then, the Bills and the Chiefs. I'm going to pick the Bills. I think that they have like.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, Savannah.
I'm going to pick the Bills.
There you go. There you go. That's how you do it, Mike Hughes. Do it again, Savannah. He didn't learn the first time.
I think that it's possible for them to pull out the upset. Kansas City and Buffalo both have high-powered offenses. We've seen it, but you have to think, which defense do you trust more? It's kind of just like how I said with the Packers game too. Like, which defense do you trust more? And right now I'm going to tell you that I trust Buffalo's defense more. So I think it's going to be a shootout. It's just going to be like who can stop, who can force the turnovers. Because the offenses are both high-powered enough where every time they get the ball, you're just going to assume that they're going to score. So if a defense can get a stop and be able to keep them from scoring, like it's basically whoever's going to have like the ball last. And I think that's going to be Buffalo.
Mr. Trubisky. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, needing it when there's only a minute left. Right.
All right, we're gonna finish this real quick. Hey, we've been talking about the teams. Now we're gonna move on to the actual quarterbacks themselves, and we're gonna talk about who has the most pressure during this divisional round. And I'm not gonna lie, on the morning show we kind of covered this a little bit, so we're gonna talk about it in the Real Talk as well. And originally my thought process was Matt Stafford because coming out of Detroit, coming to LA, he's gonna have to prove himself. I thought he had a lot of pressure, and I still kind of believe that. But now I'm thinking, kind of what Pride was saying, kind of I'm looking at what Mike Hughes is saying. Pride's going with Aaron Rodgers. Mike Hughes is looking at Tom Brady. Am I right on that? No, did you or somebody said Tom Brady. It might not have been you, Mike.
I wasn't there.
Either way, I think, and I apologize, Mike, for that. I thought but I think Aaron Rodgers has the most. I think Aaron Rodgers has the most because you gotta look at this. 45 or 4 decades. I believe it's 45 years. I'm not 100% sure if I got the 5 part right, but I know it's at least 4 decades of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, and they got 2 Super Bowls to show for it. 2 in 4 decades. And if you don't think that Aaron Rodgers' legacy is on the line here, you gotta be mistaken. Your bad man, Freddie, might actually be so bad. He might be a little bit more pedestrian like we thought he was. I'm just saying, Freddie, he's got to win for people to believe it. So he's got to go against the 49ers. What happens if the 49ers beat the Packers? He got knocked out of the conference round by Brady. If he gets knocked out in the divisional round by Garoppolo, do you really think his reputation can sustain that? I don't think so, Freddie. I think we're looking at him a little bit differently. And then what if he does make it? What if he does make it to the conference round for some unknown reason? And he absolutely, for whatever weird reason, Brady makes it there. And then he got Brady, Aaron Rodgers 2.0. And then he loses to Brady in the conference round for a second time. His legacy is if he don't get to the Super Bowl or bust, Aaron Rodgers, we're going to start looking at, well, you know what? He got 1 Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy. Okay, good for you. Well, you're not the man. If he makes it
but doesn't win, how do you look at it then?
I'm just okay. If he doesn't win, if he wins, he wins the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're gonna look at Aaron Rodgers a lot differently. But he has to submit that, Savannah. He has to submit. He has got to go to the Super Bowl and win a second title in order for us to really look at him and be like, yeah, that's our MVP. That's really our MVP. Because let me tell you something. If Brady goes there, if Brady beats him, if he gets to the conference round, and Brady plays against him and beats him, then we all knew who Brady was. He's the real GOAT. And Aaron Rodgers is looking like the stepchild at the orphanage, like Orphan Annie, begging to get into the soup kitchen. I'm just saying, Savannah, he's got to win. He's got to win or it's bust.
Right. I think Jay, I agree with you with that because it's at the point to where with Tom, Godwin's not there, all these other guys aren't there, so it's kind of a level playing field. And if we're all being honest.
Absolutely.
Can I go?
No, yeah, absolutely. And I was transitioning to Freddie. Freddie, it's your turn, my brother.
So it is Aaron Rodgers. It is. Aaron Rodgers have to go to a Super Bowl this year and win it. He do. I get on here every week and I call him a bad man because I believe he's a bad, bad man. But just like for the reason Jay McLevin said that you have not been in the Super Bowl in quite some time. When a lot of people put a lot of heat on you last year for you not running into the end zone. Aaron Rodgers, hey, especially for this year, the reason why you got a lot more pressure this year is because you came in the season not all the way in, not wanting to be there. You being, in some people's eyes, a distraction to the team by you not being there supporting your guys this summer, by you taking the position you did because of the COVID vaccine. A lot of people thought you was vaccinated, but you said you was immunized and all that. So you caused a distraction there. So there's a lot of pressures for those reasons as well, but also losing in the big moments as well in the previous past. Granted, all those are not on you because your defense did give up give up big yardage, give up scores, but you did have something to do with it because if the team wins, the quarterback gets most of the praise. If they lose, you're the leader of the team, so you deserve some of those of the loss as well. The pressure is being applied this weekend. And I know I picked the Packers to win, but the 49ers proved last week that they can find ways to win games, and the Packers better not go in this game thinking that they already have this game won. So Aaron Rodgers had the most pressure entering the divisional round.
All right, that's good points. And Mr. Ray, we move on to you, brother.
Man, when I posed this question, I didn't think everybody was going to pick Aaron Rodgers. Well,
it's only two people. There's like six of us, so we never know who's they're going to pick. But what you got, Ray?
But no, I 100% agree. I think the other piece of this is his career is starting to resemble a lot more average of a career than his talent would dictate. He's 11-9 in the playoffs. He has the one Super Bowl win, but he has some really bad playoff losses as well to some subpar teams and quarterbacks in games he should have won. On top of that, he's by all accounts going to be. Eli beat the GOAT twice, so I got to give Eli his credit. But no,
hey, it's true though. Now let's not forget that
when he shows up, he shows up. But that's neither here nor there. But no, for Aaron Rodgers, I think the other piece to this is he's by all accounts, he was first team All-Pro. He's going to win MVP again. I think that'll be his fourth MVP, I believe he would have. If he ends up with 4 MVPs and goes out in this game to Jimmy Garoppolo, that's treading on really, really bad territory from a big-time playoff performer. I'm not going to call him Russell Westbrook, but he'll start to be put in a different kind of category and tier of somebody that has these amazing stats and does a lot of great things in the regular season, but just absolutely dies in the playoffs. There's really no excuse for him to lose this game. And if he has to follow that up either with Stafford or Brady, he does need to get to the Super Bowl and he needs to win it. Even if he's going against Mahomes, Tannehill, Josh Allen, or Joe Burrow, by all accounts, if he does not win this year, it will be a failure. And people will have to look at him. And for the people of Green Bay, there's a great chance this is the last time you'll see Aaron Rodgers play. So I would hope that he would bring his best because he hasn't always performed very well. Freddie, you brought up the decision to not go for it. I would be very curious if they get in another 4th down situation towards the end of the game. Do they kick or will they go for it? So I think they have some of those demons that they're going to have to work through with Rodgers and LaFleur. So I definitely think it's Aaron Rodgers, and we'll just have to see kind of how it plays out. But he better not lose this Sunday, but it's Saturday.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to throw something out there. It's based on what you're saying. If Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP but doesn't win the Super Bowl, do we start to look at the MVP a little bit differently?
For him or in general?
Or just in general, how we're giving it. I mean, I don't know.
No,
Maybe it is him.
No.
Maybe it is specifically him. Do we look at it a little bit different? Because how do you win the MVP but then lose the Super Bowl? I mean, maybe it's him. Let's focus on just him. We'll keep it just him. Does it tarnish him? Or do we look at him as like, you know what? You're not really who we thought you were. You got this award, but do you really deserve it? Maybe Brady really should have got it.
We're going to look at it just like the way we look at Drew Brees. Real great quarterback, put up real big numbers in the regular season, but only won one Super Bowl. I mean, he won only one Super Bowl. The Saints.
I think because those MVPs are going to separate him from Brees. I don't think he'll ever be in the same category as
great talent, but what I'm saying, that great of talent, you know, and I get it. You know, all of it's not on him. You know, because that defense on two of those games in big moments gave up a lot of yards, gave up a lot of touchdowns. But we have seen Rodgers come up short like last year when he should have ran it in. You know, if he would have ran it in for a touchdown or get close, put his team in a position, we don't know what might have happened, you know. And, I mean, hey, there's a lot of question marks. I mean, hey, I love Aaron Rodgers. That's my dude. But, I mean, let's face it. I mean, no, that's not my team. I'm a Giants fan. You're not going to twist my words. Not today.
Hey, before we turn this into the morning show of yesterday, we're going to hold you there, Freddie. I appreciate you. Kenny, let's move on. Because we do need to push a little bit. Kenny, who do you got, man? I mean, or do you? I mean, like, who are you looking at for the most pressure?
I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford.
See, Ray, I told you not everybody had it. I told you, Ray, there's going to be those few in there.
I'm going to go with Stafford because
basically that's fine.
He has everything, you know, they did everything. We talked about it earlier. The Rams went all in on this season in terms of trying to win the Super Bowl. You know, they brought in Stafford. And, Robert Woods goes down, they bring in OBJ. They bring in Von Miller. You know what I'm saying? So they did everything that they could to put themselves in the best possible position to win a Super Bowl. And I think if they don't get it done, the first person that's going to be looked at is going to be him.
Right.
And the reason why I ask you that, that was brought up in the morning, like I said, and I picked Stafford. And here was the argument, and I want you to address this in your as part of your case. The argument that was brought up was Matt Stafford. If he doesn't win, it's okay because he has 2 or 3 years left on his contract, that he has plenty of time to say, okay, it was the first year, we made it to the Super Bowl, or we made it to the playoffs, great, but we have 2 more years to get to the Super Bowl. So it's not really all on him this year. He has 2 more years to really get it. So that's why they said the pressure wasn't really all on Stafford. How do you address that?
I would say because of those moves that were made.
I think Odell and
you bring in OBJ, that's a 1-year deal. You're more than likely you're probably not going to have him back. You don't know what's going to happen with Robert Woods if he's going to come back and be healthy. Normally ACLs is not as like it was.
Oh, I agree. ACLs is pretty serious.
You don't know, with a guy that relied on his quickness if he's going to come back and be that same guy. And again, Von Miller is no spring chicken, so they brought him in as well. So I just think that all of these moves were made with this year in mind. So if it doesn't work out, then he's going to be the first person that people look at, especially if, now, and especially in this game right here. You're going up against Tom Brady. And like I said, this is one of those games where normally when you go against Brady, he normally is the guy that doesn't make the mistake, and then your team makes a mistake and he capitalizes on it. And if for some reason that happens and he capitalized on the Stafford mistake, who are we going to look at on Monday morning? We're going to look at Matthew Stafford. So for those reasons is why I think the most pressure is on Stafford.
Kenny, but if that's the case, he would have lost to the defending champion and the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, even if he has a bad game, like
I think, yeah, exactly. I
understand. I'm just saying that
if you're everything, Tom Brady, there's going to be some slack there.
No, I understand. It may not be as bad based off of what you're saying.
Let's say if you lost
because of all the things that they did that all with this year in mind. And so if it doesn't happen, then the disappointment is going to be, he's going to be the first person that that people look at when it comes to
Right.
That's
I
why
agree with
I just think when you look at Matt Stafford and what he has to lose, and you look at Aaron Rodgers and what he has to lose. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's got 17 wins in, and if he don't get to the Super Bowl, people are looking at because look for him. We don't even know if he's coming to Green Bay. He may jet boat off to somebody else and try to win somewhere. There's a lot right.
Exactly. That's kind of what my thing is.
There's a little bit more give and take.
I don't think we've seen the end of him, even if it's the end of his time in Green Bay. We're going to see him somewhere else. And
right.
Whatever team he goes to, they're going to be thought of as being contenders because he goes to that team.
All right, we're going to move on. We got to move on.
Again, it's just one thing. It's just, 1 year, and you can't – there's no guarantee that you're going to get back there next year.
And let's be honest, there's a good case you can make for Stafford, and I'm going to point that out to Kenny. There's a really good point to make out to Matt Stafford. There's also a really good point to make for sure. Aaron Rodgers. So I get it, and it's good to get both sides of it. And that's what I knew, Kenny. I knew you were going to be the one that wasn't necessarily all the way on board with Aaron Rodgers. That's why I want to point that out. Mike Hughes, who you got?
I have Ryan Tannehill.
That's what I love about this show. It's awesome.
Ray makes that face, but you look at the guys who are left. Aaron Rodgers, at the end of the day, doesn't give a shit. He's leaving regardless if he wants to, and he's going to probably be a Super Bowl contender wherever he goes. I look at Joe Burrow. He's in year 2 of his career. He's not going anywhere. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Doesn't matter what's going on with him. Like you said, Matthew Stafford, it's a situation to where you finally do have all the right pieces, but this is your first year there. So I'm not going to hold you to that, to the point to where, I'm burning down the bridges and I'm trading Stafford if we don't win a championship this year. It's going to be disappointing for sure. But again, you have 4 more years of Stafford. Then you look at the Bills, Josh Allen in year 3. I'm not really tripping about that. I love everything they're doing. And again, everyone wants to talk about them not having a running game. So if they don't succeed to Patrick Mahomes, I guess you could say that's what it is because that's the narrative everyone wants to bring. Kenny, that's not a shot, but that's just you turn on any radio and that's all you hear is they don't have a run game. So I have to look at it like that. Patrick Mahomes, I just said his name and that's all I have to say. He's not going anywhere. When you look at it, Ray, you made that face. I just want you to know right now, Ryan Tannehill's contract for 2021 is $1.5 million on the year. Next year goes to $29 million. He just signed an extension for $118 million. They've been playing phenomenally without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's back. You have all the intangibles to win this game. Your team has stepped up in such a huge way. The one question mark that I always wonder about Tennessee, I don't question A.J. Brown. I definitely don't question Derrick Henry or that defense, who I think even though they haven't performed to the greatest, I think they definitely can be serviceable. They're definitely there. Julio Jones, even though he's aging, I'm not questioning him. The person I'm questioning is Ryan. And it's not that can he be a good regular season quarterback. It's can he win you a playoff game at a consistent level to get to the Super Bowl. So I think out of all of the quarterbacks on the board, if in their situations, if Ryan Tannehill shits the bed, you have to hand him $30 million and say thank you. And you have to smile and walk away about it for the next 4 years. So I look at it like that, and you have to think to yourself, if he doesn't perform well and he's the reason you guys don't succeed and win this playoff game against a kid in year 2 with no offensive line, that's on you. And that's on you at the end of the day, because if Derek wasn't there, I think it's a different conversation. But Derek's back, like Savannah said. He doesn't have to push through 200 yards, but he damn well could. And defenses have to prepare for that. So they're not preparing for Ryan. They're not preparing for Ryan whatsoever. And anybody that thinks they are is crazy. So I think Ryan has all the potential to be able to take advantage of this situation. You have the tight ends. You have the O-line. You have 2 great dual threat wide receivers. You can do this. If you underperform, I'm looking at Ryan out of anybody.
But I think that's unfair to him, especially when we talked about the fact that Kansas City's offense is dynamic and their defense sucks.
Now, but Ray, it's unfair to Ryan when he's been in this system for years, but it's not unfair to Stafford, who's only been there for 16 games?
I didn't pick Stafford. So
no, I'm just saying, like,
I don't think there's any pressure on Stafford for me personally. But for Tannehill, I think you're getting Derrick Henry back. I think that's going to be a tough integration. And the last 2 playoff games, Derrick Henry has not played well. So I don't know really what to expect of that. And I think there's going to be pressure on him in the game because he has 1 receiver and he's going against an offense that has like 5. So in comparison, I just don't think his pressure is as high. But yes, they are the 1 seed, so they're expected to win. Right. But if they lost, I don't think anybody would be like, oh, I'm so shocked because most people on here picked Cincinnati to win anyway.
See, and that's what the biggest thing, though, Ray, is you look at it and you say, oh, I'm not shocked. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is on the Tennessee Titans, I think you're shocked. I think that's just the reality of it. I don't think Ryan's that guy that makes a difference.
I mean, I agree. He's not Aaron Rodgers. I think there's levels to it.
I will say this was early in the year, my hot take. I did say that the Titans need to find another quarterback because Ryan Tannehill is not confident as a quarterback. Okay, last drive down the game, I need you to take me down the field. And that's when I granted Julio Jones is older, but you haven't Julio Henry. And receive AJ Brown.
Off that sorry background because we can't hear you. Your background.
Hey, wait a minute. No. Ray, what I'm not going to
contaminating the background. That's why.
No, Ray.
The background's contaminating his connection.
No,
Freddie's connection is usually solid. He put that trash background and now
that star is not trash, Ray. Ray. No, Bob. Listen. You know what? I wish I could. Take
quality doesn't area.
That controls. Freddie, take him off. Don't let him say that, Freddie.
Freddie can't say nothing.
No, hey, we need to move on, though. Hey, for real. We do need to move on. Savannah, who you got as the most question? All right, Mike, did I get you? I got you, Mike, right?
I went, big dog. I hate Ryan.
Okay. And Savannah, I apologize. Savannah, your turn.
I'm going to say Matthew Stafford just because – I want to say Aaron Rodgers, but you guys have literally spoke on every single point about that. Everyone knows that it's Aaron Rodgers, but reality, I also think that it's Matthew Stafford. Like you said earlier in the show, like he literally didn't do shit in Detroit at all. So now for me, it's more of like him coming back and having a prove it year that like when he has like a decent team around him, like he is a great quarterback and he can do what people have thought that he can do on other teams. And yes, like making the playoffs is nice and stuff, but like he needs, if he's going to be like cemented as like he is a great quarterback, even though he had a shit team around him in Detroit, and that him moving to a different team like is good for his career and everything, he's going to have to beat Tom Brady. Like he's going to have to go in, not throw interceptions and play a damn good game. And I don't care, like making to the playoffs for me personally is not enough for me because we already knew he was a good quarterback, whether he had pieces around him or not. I think it's a lot of pressure on him to be able to go into the playoffs and beat Tom Brady and go to the championship game and possibly go to the Super Bowl. I think that he needs to be able to go out there and prove that him going to another team isn't just like a fluke and he's just going to blow it. I personally think that he needs to go in and he needs to play his ass off and not throw interceptions and not turn the ball over and beat Tom Brady.
Awesome sauce. Let's talk about Dak for a minute.
Why?
No, I get it. Listen, we skipped over a couple of topics, okay, to get to Dak. So, Mike Hughes, I'm going to refrain from you talking about anything else. You just go with the flow, okay, Mike? Is that good? Can you go with the flow, Mike? Okay,
no more Mitchell Trubisky references.
Yeah, no more Mitchell Trubisky. We've heard enough of that.
Hey, Kenny, I bet Mitchell would have been done better than Dak did.
Mike, we're not going to go there. Time out. Hey, everybody, time out.
I don't know.
No,
Mike, I'm out. All right, let's talk about Dak real quick. Dak was saying basically, hey, at first when the trash was being thrown, they thought it was being thrown at the players. He's like, hey, he's got an issue with it if it's being thrown at the players. But then they said, no, Dak, it's being thrown at the refs. Oh, well, then it's okay. I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now he's issued, and I told y'all when it happened, I said, watch, you give him 2 days, the apology is coming. It's going to come. And what do we get? The apology. Dak goes back and says, basically, hey, I shouldn't have said that about the refs. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I knew the apology was coming. Everybody knew the apology was coming. My question is this. From a PR standpoint, it wasn't the smartest move. And I don't understand why athletes, and I don't understand, they got to go through some kind of media training. Because it's not just Dak that says craziness. It's in the NBA. It's in the baseball. It's all over the NFL. Everybody's come out with apologies for everything they say. John Gruden doesn't come out with apologies. At what point do you say, look, at some point we got to hold you accountable? And I don't know if they're going to hold Dak accountable. I don't know what they're going to do because it hasn't come out yet. But you got to figure there's got to be some sort of accountability.
It came out. They fined him.
Huh?
It came out. They fined him.
Oh, they fined him? Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, so they fined him. But at some point, somebody's got to be in their PR room saying, hey, Dak, we want to get some endorsements, guy. We want to get you as much money as we can get you because we want our money too. And when you get endorsements, we get paid.
Right.
You need to slow your roll and think about what you're saying because your play is not exactly has been spectacular to get you the crazy endorsements like a Peyton Manning or an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes. So we need to do some damage control on you quick and in a freaking hurry. That's what I'm saying. Freddie, what you got?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. Listen here, man. I'm not here saying Dak Prescott was right. Not at all. But we do have to realize
he was wrong, Freddie. You can't even say you didn't even say that. Just say he was wrong. I can say it. The man was wrong. They're throwing bottles for crying out loud. What could they have done?
But what I'm saying is that he just came from a game that he did not play perfectly well. His team did not play well. They lost. Tempers get heated. I mean, the worst time to ever talk to a player is right after a playoff game and they lose. It definitely looked bad. And the apology to me, Jerry Jones went to his PR team and said, "Hey, we need to release a statement, and they need to come from Dak Prescott because what he did was absolutely wrong." But there comes a time where we have to hold everybody else accountable as well. We jump on Dak Prescott for doing what he's doing, but we don't want to jump on Tom Brady when he breaks a tablet and throw it on the sideline.
Now, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to let you get away with that. Listen, Dak's my guy. But a tablet, Freddie, a tablet is just a piece of material. These dudes got bottles being thrown. These dudes have been severely hurt and injured. That's not even closely in the same realm as the same ballpark.
I agree, Jay McLevin. But what I'm saying is that, you look at Tom Brady, what he did. Nobody ever want to call him out. Nobody ever say anything about him. Dak Prescott should never say what he said. I 100% agree.
The NFL called him out. It was all over social media that he got called out. They had memes about it for crying out loud.
Like I said, hey,
like I said, that's a connection.
You know what? Hold on. 1 second. I'll be right back.
Hey, Ray, give me your take. That's awesome. Hey, Ray, what do you think about the Dak Prescott? I mean, and I don't want to come down hard. If I'm coming down hard on Dak Prescott for saying what he said and then apologizing, then tell me, man. But I mean, you're talking about injuring people and you don't care. You don't care that people are getting injured. I mean, I don't get that. What do you think, Ray?
No, I'm in 100% agreement. I think I was on Monday's show and I said, like, I obviously am a Washington football team fan, so I despise everything Dallas Cowboys. But there are a lot of Dallas Cowboy players that I really do like, and Dak being one of them. I liked him since he was at Mississippi State and he took them to the number 1 ranking in the country.
Yeah, right.
And as a man, Dak has, up until he got paid, Dak to me was a premier. He was a nice buttoned-up guy, said all the right things, did all the right things. But I think the money in certain ways has changed him. And I was really, really surprised and also really, really disappointed initially in what he said. I don't care about the heat of the moment. I saw Michael Crabtree get dogged out by Richard Sherman. That's on the field to play. You had time to go get dressed, go to the news conference. They ask you the question. Once you get clarity, you make your dumb statement, and then they ask you again, and you double down on your dumb
statement. Double down on it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what gets me, Ray.
But for me, it gets worse because after that, you wait 2 days. I can promise you, by the time he got home, somebody reached out to him.
In his ear.
Like,
somebody was in his ear.
Not cool. You need to apologize. It wasn't until the NBA Players Association came out with a statement saying the NFL needs to condemn this on Dak's behalf. That's when they eventually said, the Referee Association. So it wasn't until like 2 days later. It was like Tuesday night when the little tweet came out. And that to me was just really distasteful. I didn't like it at all. I personally have lost a lot of respect for him as the leader of quote unquote America's team of the most valuable franchise in the world. I just expect more. But I think he's been unhappy with the way the contract negotiation went. I think he was unhappy with the way the game went. He should have been most unhappy with how he played. And I think this will reverberate from everything I've heard. He's a huge star in Texas as far as commercials. And we'll see kind of how that plays out, because that's just unacceptable on every level. And the fact that it took as long as it did leads me to believe it wasn't sincere. He was forced to do it, which means for me, you get no credit for it.
And the thing about it is, Ray, is we already, and from a fan standpoint, our team has already taken enough negative vibes from losing the way we lost. The last thing we need is our players to come out and say some stupid stuff and bring more negative energy to our team. And that's what it really gives. As a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, and I bleed blue and silver since 1976, and I don't know if any of y'all were born since 1976, but I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest Cowboy fan here, and I've been with these guys forever, even back in the 1 and 89 season before Troy Aikman came about, and of course all that came about.
I got you. I'm 73.
I'm just saying, I just feel like, and Ken, I know you're a fellow Cowboy fan. I love Dak. Okay, I do, man. He's my boy, and I'll go to fight for whatever. But you can't bring more negative vibes to an already negative situation, man. You got to start doing. You got to bring credibility to our organization, not take away from it. And Kenny, excuse me, Freddie. I know you didn't finish. Go ahead, Freddie.
I think it's funny how you want to jump on Dak Prescott, but I'm jumping on
because of what he said, Freddie, not because of how he played.
No, but were you put on all the other players when they was doing something, when they was, causing trouble for the Cowboys as well?
Okay? Are we going back to what? Who we referencing? Tell me who we're referencing first. There's a lot. I'm just saying there's a lot.
He is the quarterback. There's a
no. What I'm saying, hold on, time out. The reason why I'm saying, hold on. What I want to say is this, real quick. Most of the Cowboys, whatever they've done, has been to themselves, Freddie. What he said had to do with multiple people outside of himself. So you can't. I don't want to hear that. That's crazy talk. So we're not even gonna engage in that. We're gonna go on to Kenny next. Kenny, what do you think about Dak Prescott?
Yeah, I think we're getting a little carried away. I think this is one bad statement after a game. This guy has had no issues in terms of anything off the field. He's been a stand-up guy. He's been a leader.
Right.
He hasn't, done this is the first time. So I just think we gotta. And again, it was a bad statement. No, there's no question about it. But I think we have to chalk this up as a one-time thing. Now, if we see this again, then we can talk. Then we can kind of, to me, then you kind of start asking the question about has he changed. But for this, to me, this is a one-off thing, and I think it's just. I think it's just being overblown. Like they fined him $25,000. That's.
But here's the thing, Kenny. If that statement came from Anger, the punter. Let's say the punter. I'm using him as an example. If Anger comes out and says that statement, okay, he's not the other team. We'll talk to him. But Dak, no, come on. The position in which he's in, he's in the highest position, right?
What I'm saying is that. But anybody on the mic that said that concerning referees, they would have gotten the same type of scrutiny. I get it. That's my point. It's like Dak is a good guy. I know Dak's a good guy. Deep down, I know Dak is a good guy. What he said was out of anger. I get that. But you can't say everything. Look, you're a professional. When you're on the mic, you're not representing just yourself. You're representing the team and everything it encompasses. So you have to really have your statements down on point because everybody's looking. And he knew this was going to come down, and he knew as a Cowboys fan, I've already just lost a damn game. I don't need my quarterback bringing more negative energy to what I'm already going to get from my friends on the network because they're going to rip me because I'm a Cowboys fan. Now you got me saying this. Now what? I got to take more abuse.
But Kenny,
you understand he's representing the fan base. Point. As much as representing the players of the team, you represent the fan base too.
Based on what you've seen, would you say that Dak has handled himself the same way before the deal than after the deal? Because when I look at the criticism that
what is the deal? Ray,
let me finish.
He got a lot of damn money, Ray. He's the second highest paid quarterback.
Let me finish. My point in that is, even when people have been critical of him and talking about the slump this year, for me, he's been very dismissive of that. He hasn't, to me, taken much accountability for his play, which was pretty up and down at best.
All he said was But again, to me, that was another issue that was overblown too, because he said that the defense is playing better than us right now. So that's accountability.
Ray,
the defense didn't lose that game. It was an offense that lost that game.
No, he was saying at the time. He was saying that, and then he talked about them having a bet between the offense and the defense.
Right, but that's making light of a situation. I feel like the Dak that I saw, I didn't see this year. Like I feel like, and that came to fruition at the most critical time. I don't think 2 years ago Dak comes close to saying what he said.
And Ray, here's my question for you though, and it is the same timeline of when he got paid is also the death and suicide of his brother. And I think Dak was really hurt by that. You could see that in Hard Knocks. You can see that in a lot of
absolutely. I'll give you that. Absolutely.
Games. I don't think it's the money. I think Dak hasn't been the same since the death of his brother.
And the crappy thing about it, you know what the really crappy thing about it is for Dak specifically, is every good thing that Dak has done, and he's done a lot of good. Let's not discount that. Dak has done a lot of good. The problem with society is every good thing that you've done, one bad comment can absolutely erase all of it. I mean, we don't care about how good Dak has been. We don't care about how good Dak has been. All they care about is that one bad comment.
Right.
But this is not on that. For one bad comment to erase all of that, it would have to be.
It can erase it though, Kenny. Look, this is the media.
It would have to be egregious. This is not even close to that.
Yeah, it's not. It has to be very extreme of a comment.
Yeah, it's not this comment.
I don't know. What I'm saying though is it obviously got him some bad publicity though. You know what I'm saying?
So, Kenny, you said it's not that bad, and Mike and Freddie, you guys seem to be on that same kind of wave.
I think
for him to be against it when it was the players, and then to reverse field to people getting assaulted. This is quote unquote assault.
No, yeah, Ray, I'm not defending.
He was given in the race point. He was given 2 times.
Let me finish, and then for him to, in essence, encourage. And we talk. January 6th is a day in history now because somebody quote unquote suggested or led people down the road to do something that was wrong. By all accounts, Dak did something in the same criteria that he almost encouraged them to do that against the referees. You don't think that that's a big deal?
But Ray, what we're saying is it's not a big deal to the point where it erased all the good things.
No, it does. It does, because you know why? Let me tell you something. They said it once, like to Ray's point. He said the comment. They brought it to his attention in the press conference. He had time to think about what he had said. He had time to calm down from the emotional game, and he reiterated, no.
So let me ask you a question, Jay.
About what I said. Now, let me tell you something about a person. No, hold on, Freddie. Let me tell you something about a person. You say something in the heat of the moment, that's one thing. You get time to calm down, they readdress it. You readdress it in the conference after you've showered, thought about it, redressed. Nah. Now you're coming out and saying it, and you're sticking by it? You're sticking by injuring the people. That's ridiculous. It is stupid. It's violent. He's promoting violence. And one thing I will not suggest is promoting violence.
Man.
We don't do that, Freddie. As a network, we should not allow people to promote violence or be okay with violence. Right. And Dak Prescott had no problem with the fans throwing violent things at the face.
For one, we're not promoting violence. We're not saying that it's okay.
No, Dak is saying it, and we're sticking up for what Dak said.
He's 100% wrong. I understand that. Kenny's not saying that he's not wrong what he said. We agree with that. But what we're saying is that what he said was not going to erase all the good thing that he has done. Not this. This is something that's coming on a norm, then okay. But this is a one-time incident.
Yeah. When
there's
years, he's built up years of credibility.
I get it. You can also by promoting violence twice, you can erase that
incident. But I'm saying this one incident is not close to the level that would erase all of those years.
We gotta agree to disagree. Then no, that's okay. It's okay to agree to disagree. That's what we'll do. We're at an impasse. We will agree for the sake of the show. We will agree to disagree.
I want to say one last thing. Let's not sit up here and act like none of us has said something that maybe we did not mean to say, or we did not intend for it to come out the way that it came out.
I'm not doing it on a multimedia platform where I have followers.
Hold on. He is a man Man, we make people. We make mistakes.
But he made the mistake twice,
He
Freddie.
apologized
He made it
for
twice.
it. He apologized for it, and so as a man, we need to accept his apology and say, you know, we're not going to let that affect you as the person. We're not going to think of you.
I agree. I'm not saying, and I do give him knowledge for accountability. He did accountability. He did come out and say his apology. So I do want to give Dak that part of it. You're right, Freddie. You're absolutely right. He did apologize, and I do want to give him that. I just wish he would have. I really wish, as a Cowboys fan, as a diehard Cowboys fan, I wish he would have said at the press conference, you know what? I was wrong, man. At the heat of the moment, I shouldn't have said that. It's absolutely wrong to promote violence of any kind. I wish he would have said it then rather than waiting 3 or 4 days and then come out with this apology. That's all I'm saying. I wish it would have happened then rather than later when somebody got in his ear and told him, finally, hey, guy, you can't say that on airways. You can't say bomb at a fucking airport. Pardon my French. You can't say bomb at an airport. Okay, you can't, Freddie. You go to see what TSA will do to you. Oh, well, it was just one incident. I was just highly perturbed because they wanted to search my shoes. I didn't want to take my shoes off. I said bomb at an airport.
Jay, have you ever said something that you didn't mean to say, or you didn't intend for it to come out?
just did it just now.
Wait, that's not even close to the same thing because I don't have the audience that Dak Prescott has.
It doesn't matter.
You just did it just now.
Level. That's on a whole other level, Freddie.
Hold on, but you just did it just now. You just gave us the prime example. You got in your feelings, you got in your emotions, and a word came out that you didn't mean to say or you didn't intend to say.
I don't know, man. I kind of didn't mean to say that. I'm probably
so that's
just a one time. I promise you, it will never happen again. That's the one. I get okay. Okay.
So you apologize.
We're gonna move on to Mike Hughes now. Mike.
And
really, Kenny, to your point, I agree. Okay, I agree with you, Kenny. Freddie, I agree with you. I should have said what I said, but I didn't promote people throwing violent objects at us. I just want to put that out there. But I agree. Okay, at the end of the day, Kenny, Freddie, for that point, yes, for that point, I agree with you. We're going to agree to disagree because we got to move on with this show. Mike Hughes, please get me out of this dark hole.
That's your hole, my boy. I ain't helping you. But I've dug my own holes. I don't got time to help people dig others. But as someone who was a former athlete and played, I've been the last out in a baseball game to where I know damn well that's a ball. And it's a playoff game, and I get that last out, and it's our conference championship, and I understand that I can open my mouth and blame every single umpire that was on that field because everybody and their mama and Stevie Wonder could see that was ball 4, but you call it strike 3, and it comes down to it at the end of the day is, especially being in Chicago and being in somewhere so prominently violent. And the fans are so aggressive. If you follow the Cubs, Steve Bartman isn't even allowed to be in Chicago, and he had to go to Secret Service, and he has to be a part of this, a part of that, just because of that mob mentality of what a game can do. So for it to be coming from your QB1 speaks volumes to everything. And sure, he didn't say the N-word, and sure, he didn't say something racially motivated or something horrible or something about kids or women or something along those lines. But you definitely promoted violence. You definitely said something that was out of pocket. And I'm gonna hold you to that. I don't care if you're a man. Like, being a man and making mistakes doesn't give you the excuse to be an asshole. And it was the way it was said. If you watch the interview, he made it very clear that it was horrible what happened and it should never happen again. And it was a disaster and the fans need to be better. And then he brushed it off like, oh, we're talking about the refs, then it's perfectly fine. So it's different when it's not your guys is what I'm hearing. So I think at the end of the day, the only person that missed 20 of their completions was Dak. It wasn't the refs. The only person that had an interception during that game was Dak and not the refs. The only person that ran for 30 yards and 12 carries was Ezekiel Elliott. And the only person that dropped a bunch of passes were the wide receivers in that core. So I think the refs definitely did have some bad calls throughout that game, but I'm not going to sit here and act like your shit doesn't stink just as much as everybody else's. And the mob mentality is the big part of it. Not everybody is the Buffalo Bills throwing dildos. There are people throwing glass bottles. There are people throwing weapons. There are people who are willing to wait in the parking lot for specific people to exit the facilities. You can look up the ref of every single game. you can look up who they are and their face. So there are people who have done it before, who have looked for refs, who have said, we're looking for this person, we're gonna find them. Kenny and Jay know better than anybody. The Dez was it a catch? Was it not? Savannah knows too, but she's on the upside of that. But it's definitely something to where you look at it though. The refs of that game went into hiding for a little bit. You did not see them officiate games for a while because of that. And it was that mob mentality. So he is a human. I understand. But that, like I said, what's up, Rob? That does not give you an excuse to be an asshole. And that's exactly what he was being. Now, if you just casually make the mistake and it's a heated conversation, it's different. But as Ray alluded to, you literally made every single case to why it was a bad decision and why it was bad and why it was negative. And then you flipped it and said, oh, but if it's the refs, it's okay. That's where it's different, and that's where it's wrong, is because he knew right then and there that it was wrong, and he said it was wrong, unless it's to the refs. And that's where it's different. You're a grown-ass man. That's not cool.
Kenny, real quick for you.
It's not even cool, but he didn't even own it at the press conference. At the press conference, he stood behind it.
Right.
What the
But
hell?
Kenny, my question for you is, and I think Jay was actually, but Jay, you've talked a lot. So real quick.
Read between the lines, okay? Read between the lines.
The fact that it took 2 days to put out a response, and your response was on a tweet.
Right. You didn't even have the balls to say it in front of anybody.
Given
Everybody
gravity,
goes on social media to make statements.
So you're okay with it?
I'm saying, like, we're not going to act like people.
Yes or no?
Everybody
You're
doesn't go on
good.
social
You're
media
good.
to make
I
statements.
just want to hear if you're good with that. As given
everybody goes on
stature,
social media to make statements and announcements. That's nothing new.
So yes, I'm just looking for.
All right, we're gonna move on to Savannah. We're gonna move this a little bit. We got a lot of NBA to talk, and I want Freddie getting mad at me. Savannah, give me your take.
I think that people are selfish and they only really care about themselves. And I think every single person in the world is like that. Like, there's people that are good, but at some point in your life, like, you're gonna act like that. And I just think that's how he was acting and who he was being. He was really mad, like, about what happened. Like, yeah, you put the blame on a bunch of other people, and then you don't take the blame for yourself. And that's just how it is. People are selfish and they get mad and they get upset and they put the blame on other things and they literally don't care. And I think he was acting that way because he was mad about what happened. So right. I don't think he should have said it. And I know it took 2 days, but like,
let me ask you a question, Savannah. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about what you just said. No, hold on. Time out. No. Let me ask her because I'm going to get her fresh opinion on it. So I get the in the moment response. I get that, and I give him the pass on the in the moment response. Mm-hmm. Well, my issue of it is he had time, a lot of time, to go through the whole cleaning process, come back out on stage, get in front of a mic, and readdress it in a calm, professional manner. And he stood behind what he said. Now, how do you defend him coming back out in a professional manner and then redefending what he just said? How do you feel about that?
I think that it's wrong. Like, I don't think that he should come out and defend that. But like I said, I think he was just.
No, you can't just say what you think because he's not off the cuff at that moment. He's not off the cuff.
I just don't think he cares. Like, I don't think he has
exactly. Thank you, Savannah. He didn't care.
He doesn't care. Like, he doesn't want to fix it. He's like not. He's not
exactly. I agree with
you. Never get fined for the stuff that they do, whether it's wrong or whatever. So he was mad that he doesn't care. And like, yes, he should have accountability. And yes, he should have
exactly. Savannah.
He doesn't care to fix it. He doesn't want to fix it.
That's just what you think. You don't. Nobody knows that he was forced to.
I also would just like to point, like Jay, kind of like what Savannah said, but to just kind of reiterate it. I get it. I hear what you're saying, but as someone who played, you kind of gotta give him a little bit of credit. Yeah, you changed
for promoting violence.
Nah, but Jay, let me tell you, and I'll help you out. But I can change my clothes, wash my ass, and do whatever, but that is not going to change the fact that the last 6-7 months of all my hard work.
Exactly.
It's not going to take me 30 minutes to not be pissed off.
You're not going to necessarily be able to cool off in 10 minutes.
Right. Like, I don't just change.
Okay, so to that point, maybe he should have took a little bit longer before going in front of the whole world.
That's media availability. You can't.
Right.
You only get a certain amount of time.
If I'm in the shower, is the press coming in the shower?
But
no,
Kenny,
you only get a
They are.
Time on.
you only get a certain
Kenny
amount
and
of
Mike,
time
that
after
goes
the
away
game
when he
before you
can't.
have to have media availability.
Right, but
I'm gonna tell you, this
you're
is
missing.
a perfect example. Right? This is a perfect example. Last night, everybody knows. We'll talk about it in a minute. The Lakers, Rob Vogel been.
Can we get this Dallas Cowboy connection out of here?
Hold on, but
Hey,
they did
you're
not.
breaking
Hold
up,
on,
Freddie.
Jay,
Hey,
hold
for
on.
real. Freddie, you're
They
breaking
did
up,
not
Freddie.
Hold on. They did not let Russ talk in the media availability. They held on.
No,
Why?
he left.
He left.
That's the difference.
That's
He
not the
left.
same.
Okay, you know what?
Why are we
That's probably
even
the best
talking
thing
about this,
that
bro?
ever
You
happened.
don't even
Because
like
what
that,
was Russ
bro.
going to do if he was winning that media?
I hate
What was he going to do?
Right, but
He was
here's the part, and we got to advance this. He initially condemned it.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
That's where I agree with you, Ray. That's where I agree with you.
This wasn't a
Right,
situation
I
where
understand.
it
We
was
got
it was
that.
the
We
first
got that.
statement.
He doubled
But then
down
you
on it.
can't
He should have
also
doubled
then
down on it,
tell
but he
me.
apologized. Why
But
we
he
keep
didn't.
going
But
back
don't tell
to
me he
that?
got caught up in the moment, because in the moment initially he was against it. He was against it in the moment, and then he realized,
I just know
they're talking
if
about
Kyrie
the
said
ref.
it, we'd still be talking about
All
it.
right. Hey, listen,
now
guys.
that
At the end of the
it's
day,
the ref,
Ray, I get what you're saying. Ray,
That's
hold
not
on.
a fair
They're not going to
moment.
get it, Ray. Ray, we got to put a pin in this one. This
Right.
is a whole segment of another show because we could talk forever on this topic. We really can't. I think at this point, I think me and Ray are going to agree to disagree with what you guys are saying. I mean, this is where we have to leave it for right
Hold
now.
on.
Let's move on to the NBA.
Real quick, let me read the statement real quick.
Man, that's crazy.
He said, I deeply regretted the comments I made regarding the officials after the game on Sunday. I was caught up in the emotion of a disappointing loss, and my words were uncalled for and unfair. That's what he said.
I get it, man, but it
Didn't write it, and two, it wasn't the moment because again, you changed your position. You had a moment to process.
That's where I
So
agree
he wasn't
with Ray.
caught up in. So
condemned
he
it.
wasn't caught up in the moment of saying that it's okay.
I think, Kenny, my thing is this.
To
My
put
thing is
violence
this.
out against the official.
And here's-
Again, I think hey, listen, guys, hey, for real, we got to put a pin in this because we got a lot more topics to talk about, and I get the heat of it. I get it because I'm a Cowboys fan, and I get the heat of it, but we're gonna have to put a pin in this. I think this should be a topic. It could probably go for 2 hours. I really believe it's not going to go for 2 hours. But hey, look, at the end of the day, I think what we're trying to put out, and what you guys are trying to put out, is not going to come to an eventual meeting of the minds. So we're going to go ahead and put a pin in this one and move on to the NBA. And in the NBA, we're going to talk about Russell Westbrook was benched in the fourth quarter by Frank Vogel. Is this going to be the end of his season? Should this be the end of his season? And I'm going to say no for that reason, because they've already came out and said, the Lakers have come out and said, basically, no, we support Frank Vogel. We gave him permission to do what he needs to do to right this ship. And what he needed to do was put Russell Wilson on the bench in the fourth quarter. So I think that this will not be the end of the season. I think Russell Wilson does make it to the end of the season. Now, what they do at the end of the season, that's anybody's guess. But for right now, I think he does make it to the end of the season. He does have the Lakers support and benching Russell Westbrook. And I guess, from there, time will tell. Freddie, what do you got, brother? This is your team, Freddie. The Lakers are your team. What do you got?
About Frank Vogel?
Yeah, Frank Vogel. The question is, does Frank Vogel make it to the end of the season, given that he benched Russell Westbrook?
My brother Randy in the comments.
The way to get fired is when Anthony Davis get back. And if this team is still struggling, still not finding ways to win games, this team is still floating on the 500 mark. If they're still doing that once he get back, once after the trade deadline, if they make moves, whatever moves they bring in or whatever, then they will let people go. But let's not sit up here. And I'm going to just say this. Earlier in the season, I was an advocate for Frank Vogel being fired. I was one of the ones saying, hey, he needs to be gone. Hey, he's not doing this. Hey, he's not doing that. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. When Frank Vogel went in COVID protocol, we had David Fisk step up as the coach.
Dude, I don't know what you're saying, bro.
Hey, Freddie. We got let's get on to Savannah. We'll come back to Freddie if he can fix his audio. Savannah, Vogel, benched Westbrook in the fourth quarter, does it hurt his chances of making it to the end of the season?
Free Brook.
No, I don't think it does because, like you said, he had permission to do so. Listen, I stopped paying attention to the Lakers like a while ago at this point.
So did I. Don't feel bad.
Like, you got to be realistic. Like, I think he's going to make it, but I don't think he's going to make it past the end of the season. But he had permission to do that, so there's no reason as to why he wouldn't make it to the end of the season regarding that subject.
But did he have permission from Bron?
Dude.
Yeah, I thought they said
that doesn't. Whether he makes it in the season, whether he makes it in the season, that's a management decision. And I get it, GM, LeBron, GM, I get all that. Right. But when Jenny Buss says we support whatever you do, that's got to mean something. Or are we saying that Jenny Buss's word or Bron trumps Jenny Buss? Is Bron trump Jenny Buss? I don't know. You tell me. Freddie, is your team?
As far as I know, I think Bron has an opt-out at the end of this year.
He probably does.
One of them.
That's a good point.
Hey, Ray, we've been saying it, Ray. Cleveland, the return.
No, Bron, hear me better now?
No, it's really terrible. I'll be honest with you, it's not good.
I can't even cap.
Yeah, Freddie, just give up, okay? Maybe.
All right, so I want to let Savannah finish her comment. Savannah, finish your comment, and then we'll.
So you think that LeBron's opinion, because LeBron's post game wasn't, I don't think, in support of the decision. He wasn't against it.
Oh no, he was not in support of it. You could tell.
Do you think Bron's just not really supportive of anything that's going on right now?
Yeah, I don't think he's happy with what's going on, so I think he's not happy with anything.
And the thing about it is he's unhappy with what he created. That's the craziness.
And that's
he created the monster that he's unhappy with.
What I've been trying to say for months, but
he's created his atmosphere.
And Russ is the devil. Russ is the devil, and that's the end of it.
Which I hate to say that, but that's why you have a GM, a real GM, not a player GM. You have a real GM that makes the right decisions to put with the team.
But that's the same thing in Brooklyn. Like those titles are
absolutely
only. When you have generational all-time talent,
you get
those titles don't really matter. Like you do, especially.
So they already came out and said that Steve Nash isn't the coach. That they're the coach. He's just there for
important. You have to have stars. And if you fool around and piss LeBron off, we've seen what happens a lot of times when LeBron leaves. There's nothing left because the teams have been built around him. So if he leaves, he convinces AD to leave. Russ is definitely not coming back. You're back to the Lakers of 3 to 4 years ago. And then what? You're missing the playoffs every year. You're a joke. You're a laughing stock. You're in the lottery.
Which is probably why Phoenix looks so damn good because they actually play within the system. They got a GM. They got all the right pieces, and they're putting it together and gelling. Whereas LeBron built that team based on what he thought would work, and it didn't work. And now they're in a world of hell.
But wasn't it I think it was Phoenix where I thought they went to the leaders or somebody about signing someone. I can't remember who it was. And they was like, we don't want him here. I thought it was Russ. But I thought they went to some of the leaders of that team and they're like, we don't want – I forget which superstar it was, but they pushed back against it and they didn't bring him in.
And that's good. That's good. They probably did that. Freddie, I don't know how your audio is now. I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Am I better now?
All right, let's go.
Better now?
Nope.
Get off the mic. Just use your voice.
Man, I'm done, bro. I'm done.
Well, that actually sounded.
I'm back at the top. Wait, watch this. Oh, yeah, there I am.
Yeah, I got pushed all the way down to the bottom. It looks like
every time,
segregation going on here.
Hey, can we put that in? Hey, that should be a topic for next week. Is Freddie done? I mean, I don't know.
StreamYard got all us here at the bottom. I don't know if I like that, but
but go ahead and finish.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Ray. Don't do that.
Power to the people, brother.
Hey,
just holding it down here on the bottom.
Can I be part of your people? I want to be in your people. Can I be in your people?
Come to the bottom of the ship with us.
I was at the bottom, Ray. I was at the bottom.
Hey, no, for real, Ray, are you good or you got more to say?
No, I'm good. You can go ahead.
All right, Savannah, I want to let you finish. I know I kind of cut you off. Is there anything else you wanted to say? All right. We're going to move right on to Mike Hughes and we'll wrap it up with Kenny. Mike, what do you got to say? Vogel, is he done? Does he come back? Does he make it to the end of the season? What are you predicting?
There's nothing out there to tell me right now that there's a better option. I mean, there's nothing. Like, not a single.
I don't think there is either.
Even Ty Lue has a job right now. So I look at it from that perspective. Unless
Mark Jackson does it.
You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean?
Where did the Ty Lue plan come from?
No, Ray, I'm saying, what I'm saying is, like, last year, there was an option of getting Ty Lue. Like there was that conversation of bringing him in, and there were a lot of free agents available. Now it's really what Coach K, and you really don't even know how that would pan out.
He's not.
Right. Like, does he even want to do that? Like, why would he want it?
But let me ask you this: why is Mark Jackson so off damn limits? Is it because of his faith? Is that why they blackballed Mark Jackson? He's the one that made up. He made the Golden State Warriors what they are. Yeah. What can it do for the Lakers?
I think there's a lot of intangibles that go into that. And I think one of the biggest things is you make that team and you construct it, but that doesn't make you a leader of men. And I think that's what it could be at the end of the day. And I'm just speaking from that, from not understanding the full situation. And that is one thing I could say. I don't know how players perceive him and his words and how he speaks in the locker room. I've had guys who constructed amazing rosters. You know, they put me as catcher. I'm left-handed, but it worked. You know, I've had great guys. But when you asked for
me too, Mike, my man.
You know the vibes, Kenny. I'm rocking with it. But
hey, Mike, you back here in the basement with us. Welcome.
You know what, brother? Hey, I never left, bro.
Hey, let me move on. Let me move this conversation on to Kenny. Kenny, what do you think, man? We got to get to this conversation.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Is he staying in?
No, he's in trouble.
You think he gets fired?
Yeah, he's in trouble. I saw something where Kurt Rambis is sitting in on coaches' meetings. Like
I saw that too.
Yeah, once that start happening, that means they're thinking about it. And if they're thinking about it, then it's just a matter of time. And so, like,
that's true. Hey, that's a good point.
I think they're just waiting to see if AD comes back and he's able to
and what he can do for him,
playing better. But if they're still struggling when AD comes back, he's done.
And I don't know how he's done. The man got a championship. I mean, he was on the team when they got a championship under that last regime they had.
But again, it's easier, you know, and it kind of goes back to some other things we talked about in terms of scapegoat. We were talking about earlier with the most pressure. It's easier to get rid of the coach than it is to get rid of the players.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, absolutely, it is.
Stuck with Westbrook. You can't do anything with Westbrook. You're not trading LeBron. You're not trading AD. All those other secondary pieces are not really marketable in terms of bringing you any assets.
And Frank Vogel had absolutely no power as to who they brought in, did he? Like, he had no idea.
You got Fizdale on that bench, who I believe has been with LeBron even in Miami. So I think there's an opportunity
he had an
opportunity have that good relationship. And there were reports he was like game to game, which is just nuts to put out that kind of report.
I guess the question I'm asking is, did LeBron kill Frank Vogel's career?
Yes.
No.
I don't know about his career.
No.
But he's not.
I mean his career with the Lakers. I'm talking about with the Lakers. Did he kill his career with the Lakers?
No, because he didn't kill his career. He made it hard. He made it a challenge for him. But he didn't kill it.
He made it more than a challenge.
Any coach, but my point is that any coach that's worth his salt would take that problem of having AD, Russ, and LeBron on the same team. No coach.
Is it a good thing or a curse, though? Is it good or is it a curse?
Well, that's the thing. You have to be able to manage. You have to be able to manage.
How do you manage Russell Westbrook? How many organizations he been with? How many coaches?
You leave him be, goddammit.
A lot. He's been with a lot.
Am I sounding better?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Freddie. I'm gonna let you speak on that. What do you think,
Freddie? I've been waiting for you, Freddie.
Listen here, like I said, if AD come back, this team is still struggling. Still floating around the 500 mark. They're going to fire, but he's going to be the scapegoat. And let's not, sugarcoat it, to Mike's point, LeBron, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, they all have fault by bringing in Russ. We all know what Russ was before he got to LA. My hope was that Russ would take, he would say, okay, it didn't work. It didn't work with KD. It didn't work with Harden. It didn't work with PG. It didn't work with Melo. It didn't work with Bradley Beal. Let's come to LeBron, to AD, to the Lakers that it have worked. They have won a championship. I'm gonna take a back seat, but Russ have not done that. It has not worked. This trade is and quite frankly, Russell Westbrook has affected Anthony Davis. He have, like I said in the beginning of the season, Anthony Davis walks around here like he's the third option. when he should be the number 1 or number 2 option. You know,
I
right
agree
now,
with that.
And that's
right
on the
now,
youth. That's
He
on
was
the
now.
averaging 23.
Hold on. I'm
before he
talking
went out.
one at a time.
Man, stop.
Last night there was Laker fans telling management that they need to trade LeBron just for the sake of this man going out there, risking his body, going out there, giving his all. They don't want to see this man going through this. And you know what? And you know what? It is some of his focus. If Russell Westbrook would not be here, if it was not for LeBron and it was not for AD, Rob Pelinka, he had Buddy Hield. He had that trade ready to go.
How was
He
that
should have
Russ's
pulled that
fault?
trigger. He should have pulled that trigger.
LeBron hit that veto
How was,
button. Y'all
how
know
was
what
that
it is.
Russ's fault?
Ray hit it on the head.
It was Russ' fault.
Kyle
What I'm
Kuzma
saying
came
is,
out and
now-
said he was being told that he was going to Sacramento for Buddy Hield, and the next day they brought in Russell Westbrook. That was a LeBron decision. And yes,
you knew it
I
was.
think Jay's
Yeah.
point. I think yes, it will end up costing him his job because it doesn't fit my issue. And I think Mike might have been the one to bring it up. There's no better option. Like you can't fix this with Russ on this team. Russ, you showed you exactly who he is last night. He got benched one time. We talked about somebody making a mistake one time. He got benched one time. And
Russell been showing his ass for years.
The writing's been on the wall because the game before that, he only played 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. But Austin Reeves hit the game winner some time ago. There have been other players stepping up. Malik Monk has looked really good. Russ has been the problem, especially down the stretch. I got league pass. I watch almost every Lakers game. I've seen too many times where the Lakers battle all the way back and Russ shoots a bad shot or makes a bad turnover, and then the team runs away and they lose by 6 or 7. It
All right, let me ask you a real quick question.
often.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask everybody this question. I'm going to ask this to everybody, really. Do you think that Jenny Buss is the issue? And I say that to ask you this, to ask this. It took Magic Johnson to put out a tweet for her to start having board meetings and confront Vaco about this. Do you think that Jenny Buss should have sat down and said, you know what? Let me put my GM in action instead of letting LeBron call all the shots? I don't know. Do you think that she has some capability in this?
Jay, first off, how the Lakers are run, Jeannie Buss, was not a problem. Okay, Jeannie
I'm asking, does she have culpability in it?
No, Jay, I'm trying to tell you how it's ran. Actually, if you know Jeannie Buss right now, she has promised that she'll stay on the business side of things, on that side of things, and that's why she have Kirk Rambis. That's why they have Rob over there running the basketball.
So it's Kurt Rambis then that allowed LeBron to do LeBron-like things.
Jay, let's not sit and act like when you don't have a player like LeBron that you're not going to let them make decisions.
Every team in the NBA makes decisions.
I guarantee you. Hold on, Ray. Hold
okay,
on.
No, I get it. So when they're running this nation into the ground.
Hold on. Let's not sit up and act like
they don't make the decisions, though.
And he said that he wants
They get
James Harden.
consulted.
That's
They
what
don't make
Brooklyn
the
do.
decisions.
They get James Harden.
But I'm on Freddie. I'm on your side just for clarity. But your connection's a little shady. It's cowboyish again.
Hey, Ray, be nice.
Garbage.
A little bit, Ray. Just a little bit, okay? I still got a very open wound right now, Ray. Just be a little bit nice. That's all I ask.
Can I finish my point? Every time I get in the middle of it, I get interrupted. Can I finish my point?
Go ahead.
I didn't even know you had a point, but okay, go ahead.
The problem is, and like I said, it starts with LeBron. It starts with Jeannie. I understand because without Westbrook, it won't be there. Westbrook will not be there.
All right. Freddie, we got to get you a new mic, Freddie.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know because you stopped.
But now, since we're this deep in the season, the trade not work. Russell Westbrook has not sacrificed for this team. And he is the one that has to sacrifice. He's the one that comes in the games. At times, he's still chasing numbers. And you can't chase numbers on this team. This dude is literally almost about to average another triple-double on this team. A triple-double on this team. That's a problem.
But I think Russ is kind of in that phase where we saw Melo, we saw AI. We've seen a lot of people go through it where you got to reinvent yourself or become something different. And it's a hard adjustment to make, but because he sees himself as the guy that's getting paid $40 million a year, that's averaging triple doubles, that was on the NBA 75-year team or top 75. He still is that. But what he is today, based on his ability to shoot, his decision making as a point guard, and his lack of athleticism and finishing around the basket, he's not that guy anymore. Right. But somebody has to be able to come to him and Melo sat out a year. Melo sat out the year, and it took him going to Portland to embrace, I'm a different guy. And I think if Russ could get to that, I think he could be a valuable asset. But somebody has to have that conversation.
Well, I think that's the Lakers' position right now. That's what they're doing.
Right.
Is putting them on the bench. Like that's the sign to him that he's going to have to reinvent himself.
Here's my thing, though.
As long as they keep benching him, that's going to be the answer. You can tell.
What was the answer a long time ago?
I was going to say, any coach will tell you, the quickest way to get a player's attention is to sit there behind him.
I get it. Why wasn't that like done like a while ago when we knew he had
$44 million? Reasons why
he makes a
turn. I get it. I get that too, Mike. I get it.
But Jay, here's my biggest thing, and it's a point I've been saying to Lakers fans all along is, especially with the AD stuff, you get rid of Magic, you get rid of the guy who drafted everybody, and you really didn't make. I say it about the Bears all the time, getting Khalil Mack. You didn't steal Anthony Davis. You gave away everything and banked on it working. And let's be real, it wasn't working to that point until they shut down for 6 months because of COVID. AD got the rest, Bron got the rest, everybody got to regroup and come back healthy in a bubble atmosphere where Bron would thrive and where all these other guys would thrive. And not that they didn't earn that trophy, because they did. But, would Bron have been healthy at the time? He wouldn't have. Would AD have been healthy at the time? He wouldn't have. And that's a fact. That's a statistical factor where AD was not healthy when the playoffs would have originally started. And now you're looking at it from the fact that the rest of the guys that the original GMs brought in, Kyle Kuzma and so on and so forth, the only guy really left is Taylor Horton-Tucker, and he's not performing well, and he's a second-round pick.
And he's on the trading block as well.
Right. And here's my thing about that is, he's not going to trade Talon. Bron loves Talon. The reality of it is Bron loves you until he doesn't. He said the same stuff about Kyle. He said the same stuff about Brandon and Lonzo, and now he's saying it about Talon. And those 3 of 4 guys are gone, and Talon's not far off. So my biggest thing is, Jay, the GM hasn't done anything except thrown a stuff at Russ and AD. And you got those 2 pieces, but the rest is Bron bringing in his friends. And the GM is incompetent, and that's the biggest.
That's true. I'll give you that, because look at Julius Randle and Brandon Ingram. All the Lakers. All those guys have gone under fruition. Half the Lakers they're thriving. They're all thriving.
There's a report yesterday that came out that LeBron put pressure on the organization.
Oh yeah, I bet he did. And you know what he said? Get my friends in here, or I want to leave.
He also put pressure on them.
You're going to listen. You're not the GM.
Put pressure on them.
Hold on, guys. Hey, we're at a level where we gotta have to agree to disagree, because this show is getting killed by all the overrunning. And Freddie, you got to fix that audio. I can't put that out there enough, man.
Yeah.
All right,
we're gonna
move on.
We're gonna move on all the time, though.
I get it, Kenny, man. Hey, I get it, man. Hey, look, I get it. It's Bron's show, and that's why the Lakers are where the Lakers are.
They listen to him all the time because they didn't hire Ty Lue. He wanted Ty Lue. They didn't hire him. So they don't always listen to him.
All right, we're going to move on to the next topic. Top 3 teams in the NBA currently as they stand right now. I'm not going to disrespect my Milwaukee, because I still think they're the reigning champions. I think they're going to pull it together. I got Milwaukee at 1. I got Phoenix at 2. No, correction. Let me correct that. I got Phoenix at 1, Milwaukee at 2, and then I got Golden State at 3. Those are my top 3 teams. Freddie, who you got?
Come on, David.
I can't. You got too many injuries. You got injuries, man. You got dog stomp when you had all 3 of your guys. You got dog stomp back to back at Brooklyn and Golden State. I can't put you there. I can't put you there. Mike, I love you, but I can't put you there. Freddie, who you got?
I'm not putting it in order, but I'm going. I'm gonna go to Memphis Grizzlies. They're rolling. They look, a team that can compete with the conference. They move on. Morant. It's time to put him in the MVP conversation. By the way, then I'm going with the Phoenix Suns. They've been very consistent this year. Coming off that finals run and still always be one of the best teams in the Western Conference Final. The best. I'm going with the Chicago Bulls.
Go on. Tell me more.
He said the Bulls.
I'm going with the Chicago Bulls. You know, they're still finding ways to win. You know, they're top two. What, number one over their East?
You're doing great, Queen. You're doing great. Keep going.
5-5 in the last 10.
Even though they've missed a lot of their
Ray,
players,
I don't want to hear that nonsense from you, sir.
even though they lost a lot of their players.
Pop off.
Yeah.
All right, Savannah, go ahead. Freddie, we gotta keep it pushing.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it flowing. Freddie, you gotta go, man. Get your audio, get a new mic from Jay Nass. I don't do something, but right now you're hurting it, man. Savannah, I know you're over there laughing and you're having a good time with Freddie, but it's not funny, okay? This is very serious, Savannah. I need to know who's your three teams.
Dude, I'm at the bottom again.
Okay, well, it's hard to go against Phoenix. Like, if you don't put them at one, like, it has to be Phoenix.
I had to go back and correct myself.
They look really good. I mean, I was watching them earlier before we were doing the show. They, like, looked really bad. Like, they were, like, 0 for 8 from three-point range or whatever for a while, and they still came back and won tonight against a team that has literally been cutting off every single win streak in the NBA. So I think the Suns are first. Gold State, they're kind of like, I want to say they're one of the best teams. They had the best record, but they've been like kind of like off a little bit recently, but I still have to put them up there. I really want to say the Bucks just because that's my team and I want to say that. But
if you say the Bucks aren't in there, Savannah, we got problems. I'm not even, you're gonna discount the reigning MVP and
I just don't want to. I hate putting my own teams and stuff. I feel like it makes me look bad.
No, go ahead. It's okay to put that team in there. I'd put it in there. If you weren't putting it in there, I would question you.
No, then I'm going to put the Bucks for sure.
Thank you for being a true fan. Appreciate you. Mike Hughes, who's your three?
3 or 5.
Three. Only 3, Mike.
I'm going to put in Memphis.
3.
I'm going to put in Memphis.
Okay.
I'm going to give them some love, and I'm going to give
I get that.
Yeah, I'm going to give love to Phoenix. And as right now,
I hope you would.
I'm going to give love to Dallas. I'm going to give mad love to Dallas.
What?
I really am. I really am. Dallas.
Hold on. No, let me start. That is a hot. No, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take. Mike Hughes just gave a hot take.
Those are the 3 best teams. Those are the 3 best teams right now.
Mike Hughes just gave a hot take, and he's going to tell us why he's got the hot take. Mike Hughes. Hold on, Mike Hughes. 2 of your teams we obviously agree with. The third one, Dallas, we kind of are discombobulated. Could you just talk about Dallas and why they're in your top 3?
No, we're not discombobulated.
I've watched Dallas. I watched Dallas beat the Bulls after a 9-game winning streak. I watched them beat the Warriors. I've been watching them dog these teams. I've been watching them play really great basketball, and this has nothing to do with how they're going to be finalized and how they're looking the long longevity of it. But we do this week by week. And right now I'm looking at them. They even lost. And that's why I have Phoenix at 2 is because of the simple fact that they lost to Phoenix today, or it was yesterday. And I do think, though, I've been watching them go on this little run, and they've been knocking out big head guys. And Luke has been calling game, and guys have been playing their role at a very efficient rate. I think, as of right now, the way they're playing great basketball, and I think it's getting very overlooked. I'm looking at the Bulls. The Bulls are dismantled. The Bulls, Lonzo Ball is going to miss over a month. Kevin Durant's going to miss over a month. Zach LaVine's day-to-day. There's a lot of things going on. I love Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's always been more of a silent killer. They just kind of do their thing. They're never really –
So you really can't overlook them, though, because they are that silent killer.
It's definitely never an overlook, but it's definitely not that they're overshadowing the league. Like Memphis, what they're doing right now is overshadowing.
That's pretty big, Mike. I'm not going to say, hey, look, I want you to say what you're saying is pretty big to put Dallas over Milwaukee. That's a bold statement, bro. That's why it's a hot take. That's why it's a hot take, though.
Yeah, I have it for this week, and not the longevity of it. I think obviously if I do top 3 teams throughout the
you better say more than just 1 week behind that. If you're gonna say so, if you're gonna put Dallas up there, you better give me more. At least give me Dallas 2 weeks.
Dallas has been hot.
2 weeks.
I mean, they are 8-2 in their last 10 games. So
they're vibing.
All right, I'm gonna let you stick with that, Mike Hughes. That's, like I said, that's a hot take, Mike. You're on blast. That's a hot take. We're gonna remember this, and then we will revisit it at some point in the season. We're gonna talk more about that. Ray, can I get your top 3 teams, please?
I think I can't even say there's a consistency on the top 2. So I'll do my 3 for right now. I got Milwaukee, I got Phoenix, and I got Miami. Miami's been playing really good ball. They've had injuries a lot of this year. They're finally starting to get everybody back. Tyler Hero might be in the rankings for comeback player of the year after he had a great year before last. But he's been phenomenal for them.
Too much
playing really well. I'm sorry, what's that?
Oh, I said my Milwaukee boy, a little too much Henny last offseason after that little finals run. I think he's
Yeah, you know, he got a little full of himself, but he's come back and he's playing well. Milwaukee's another one that they haven't. I think they've only had their three together like a handful of games all year.
Yeah,
Giannis is still doing Giannis things. It's not getting enough credit. Middleton's played pretty well. I watched them just destroy Golden State the other night. So I believe that they are still the class there as well. Golden State
even above Phoenix, correct? Above Phoenix.
Phoenix is in my three. Phoenix is my other one.
No, but I'm saying, but do you put Phoenix? I mean, do you put Milwaukee above Phoenix though? In terms of
Phoenix is my one.
Phoenix is your one. Okay,
my one.
Okay.
And Memphis is there, but I think they had a nice run. I think we'll see if they can maintain it. They would definitely be in my top 5. Golden State got to figure out that rotation. I think Jordan Poole has suffered with the return of Klay Thompson, and it's great that they're trying to force feed Klay.
Right. And that was what me and Ray were afraid of. We've been talking about them for a long time.
Like Kuminga's been playing really, really good for them, but Jordan Poole's kind of lost himself, and it kind of sucks to see that because he was playing really well. So I think they got to figure it out. And Draymond's out, and he's a lot of the engine, and he gives them a lot of defensive credibility. So I think they got some work to do as well. But those are my 3.
Okay. I think I like the Memphis. You know, I can see Memphis sneaking into my top 3 if they're not careful because they are, man. They're it's a very anomaly with that team because if John Morant's out, they can still win. That team can win with key parts out. Is my point, and they're scary, man. I'm telling you, that's a scary team going into the playoffs. Yeah, okay, Kenny, who you got, brother?
I got Phoenix, Memphis,
and Dallas.
And I'm torn on this third team.
I hear you.
Because that whole Golden State thing, I was gonna put them in, but that 5. I looked at 5-5 in the last 10 games, so they kind of been struggling since Klay came. Like, it's definitely not Dallas.
Dude, come on, Kenny.
I'm gonna go Brooklyn.
What?
Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when it's all said and done, and everybody's strength. I still think Brooklyn has the most talent of any team.
And where's the Bulls? Man,
don't worry. Hey, listen. Hey, Memphis gonna play Brooklyn. They got to play Brooklyn.
How we got you tight and you ain't pick your own team in the top?
Because we're not talking about longevity. We're talking about right now. We're talking about Kevin Durant.
Hey, I'm glad you said that though, Kenny and Mike. I'm glad you're responding to it because let's what? Right now we're gonna move into the next topic, and that is Chicago Bulls a contender?
You leave me.
And I'm gonna say this.
Let that man go first.
Hey, listen. Let's be honest. Zach LaVine is out. He's day-to-day. Ball with a meniscus tear. Listen, I've had my knees scoped twice in my life. And I will tell you, you never come back the same way twice from a scoped meniscus. If you don't know, the meniscus is the cartilage in between your femur and I forget and the ulna and the radial, whatever that but it's the cartilage. It's the cartilage in the kneecap. And if you don't have that shock absorber, or if that shock absorber, depending on what they did, they could have either removed it or sewed it. I don't know how they did it, but however they did it, you never come back the same way twice from a shock absorber as you did going into it. And I know everybody talks about the ACL, the MCL, and the PCL, but the one thing they always forget about is the meniscus, and that is just as important, if not more important it's more important than the Achilles tear. I'm telling you, it's very vital. So
I hear you.
I'm just saying, your boy Bonzo, he ain't gonna come back the same way twice.
Jay, it is his MCL though.
No, I read it. I read the report. Go back and reread it. It's on the meniscus. It's on the meniscus. Go back and reread your report.
Yeah, I heard meniscus as well. 4 to 6 weeks.
That's okay. Let Mike Hughes believe what Mike Hughes wants to believe.
I'm sorry. I forgive you.
But it is the meniscus. When he finds it out, it's going to be the meniscus. And that's a pretty significant injury.
KD was his MCL. But
yeah, I know. It's okay. I appreciate you throwing your 2 bits in.
You let me be great.
I will let you be great. But no, hey, listen though. But that's a pretty significant injury. So with Chicago, you got, I don't know, man. they've beaten Brooklyn. They've lost to Brooklyn. They've been destroyed by Brooklyn. They've destroyed Brooklyn. They've lost to Houston. I mean, Chicago's they're good against some of the weaker teams, but they're not so good against the stronger teams. In the long haul, they're not, Mike. They're not. And I think at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to be talking about Chicago come NBA Finals. I'm just going to put that out there. That's my hot take. I don't think Chicago's in the NBA Finals. I think they're a good team. I think they make it to the playoffs. I think they go maybe first, second. I think they make it a second round. But I don't think they make it past the second round. I think they get the second round and done. That's just my take on it. Savannah, you're probably much smarter than I am. What you got, girl?
Okay, are we talking about are they legit contenders for the finals or just like in general
what you think
right now?
Oh, Savannah, let me give you a little update.
Yes,
So
we're talking about contenders for the finals. No, that's what we're talking about. Contenders. Who's contenders?
They expect nothing less than the finals from these guys. I don't know why, but it's finals or bust apparently.
It's finals or bust. There's no listen. The pipe for the alternates is in the ladies' room. Okay, Goose. The pipe for the alternate is in the freaking ladies' room.
That's crazy, bro. But hey, but the Lakers need time to gel, right?
Are they a contender for the finals?
That's crazy.
That's all we're talking about, Mike. We don't care about that.
No, I think that they could sneak into the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to be that team that makes the finals. I think that once they get healthy, that they're going to look really good. They have a great offense. They just need to work on their defense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point. Mike, I'm going to let you defend your team, Bubba. Finals or not?
I'm really
Finally, he ain't picking as his top three.
And here's where it's crazy.
I know, me too, by the way. Me too.
Here's where it's crazy about the question is that by the time the playoffs would come around, Patrick Williams is back. He's one of the best defenders on this team. Lonzo's back. He's one of the best defenders on this team. And I'm going to shout out my boy. I grew up with him. He's an amazing cat. He's an amazing dude. And he ended up being a second-round pick for the Bulls right now. Ayo Dosunmu, point guard of the Bulls. That's my dog. Grew up playing. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. And Ray, I want to talk to you about how he's playing. He's the first second-round pick to ever have back-to-back double-doubles. And when you look at his defensive rating right now, he had Ja Morant go 2 for 5. Tatum went 3 for 12. 2 for 8 by Bradley Beal. And Luka Doncic went 1 for 7 when guarded by my boy, my dog. And that's what happens when you grow up in Chicago. And that's the type of mentality that this kid brought. I want to say, shout out to my boy.
You got to admit, Mike Hughes came out armed and prepared and ready to go.
That's Mike, my dog. That's my dog.
Very well thought out. Very good process in which you displayed your information. Mm-hmm. Kudos to you, and that's very believable. And I like that.
But did you answer the question?
I think they did.
No, he did. I think he did. I think you said they are contenders.
No,
Right. Did you say that? Are they contenders, Mike? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they are. I think at the end of the day,
there you go.
They're in first place, aren't they?
Yeah. Hey, listen. If you said yes, I'm gonna go with your answer. If you think they're contenders for the finals.
What do you defend contenders like guys who are in the conversation?
Oh Mike, come on now. What is
the Raptors had the one?
I don't know, man. What are we defining? How are we defining it? You know what I'm saying, Mike? Let's not play semantics, Mike. We're not playing semantics. Yes or no? Do they make it to the finals? That's the question.
Yes, I think they can. They're contenders.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's your answer. I get it. We're gonna move on now. Ray. Contenders to the finals, yes or no, and why?
No, I think I've said this all year. I think the East is better than the West. I think there's a ton of teams between when Brooklyn gets better. You got teams like the Knicks, Pacers, and Hawks that aren't even in playoff contention because of a lot of the other teams. I think Miami's going to be there, Milwaukee will be there, Brooklyn will be there, and that's a heck of a gauntlet. That if they got people out this long, they're going to drop down in the standings. And so they have, a tough 2 to 3 teams that they would have to go through to even get to the finals. And I just think that's an uphill battle that they're not there yet. Levine and Alonzo, I don't know what they'll do in the playoffs. DeRozan.
They play Milwaukee next. That's a loss right there. So if they lose to Milwaukee, that drops them down from 1 to 2.
God, Jay McLovin, if they beat Milwaukee, you turn off your phone, bro. Turn off
your
phone.
I will answer your phone call, and we will have a good conversation. I will let you have your bragging rights because that's just the kind of guy that I am. I'm a stand-up dude.
Hey, just know, Alex Caruso with the headband coming for the lead.
But they do it. No, but to Ray's point, they will drop down a few. I'm telling you,
it would be bad. It would be. It's one of those upscale fights that Ray said.
You're looking at dropping at least 2, maybe I think 2 spots. I think if Ball comes back or excuse me, if Zach LaVine comes back in, let's say 3 to 4 days, which is what there's predicted, 3 to 4 games is how much he'll miss. They may drop down. I predict they drop down at least 2 spots.
But you look at the Nets being the same thing, though.
That's true. They very well without KD. They could drop.
They're tried. They're proven. I think if you are Chicago and if you run into a Miami in the first round, even if you have the full round and go against a Philly, I don't think there's a good matchup for Embiid there. Vucevic is not the answer. With their ability to shoot and play defense on the wing, if they could ever move Simmons, Philly can really, really do some things. If they can get,
they have to move that dude.
Daryl Morey is just an idiot. Some of the stuff he's turning down.
Oh, did you see what happened? No, wait. Did you know what Daryl Morey came out and said, though? By the way, since we're on the Morey subject, he came out and says his Embiid is playing so well that he's going to drop the asking price for Ben Simmons because of it. So now
I haven't seen it.
So now would they revisit the 2 first rounders that he passed up on?
I've seen some proposed trades that I don't understand why they haven't taken either of them.
Exactly.
I'll take a bag of chips and just a ride home. Like, that's cool with me.
But I know Sacramento had sent a crazy package that I thought would be great for them.
It was Buddy.
Absolutely. Well, it would be better than what they're probably gonna get for him, which is probably gonna be less than what Sacramento was offering.
I didn't like that deal. The one that they're giving up Tobias in that deal.
I don't think they want to.
No. I guess. So, Ray, before I move on to Kenny, do you have – I think you gave your answer already. You said they're not going to make the finals, correct?
I think the East is too deep.
Okay, and I agree with you. Absolutely. Kenny, did they make it to the finals? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they're a year away, at least a year away. Especially now with Lonzo going down. And he is having surgery. I just looked it up. He is having surgery.
He's gonna have surgery. He's getting arthroscopic
so they said it's 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh yeah. So the rehab on that is crazy.
Into March. So that's well into the second half of the season. Maybe it gets back just right before the playoffs start. So, but having said all that, I just think that they're building something though. You got a nice young core. You got some talent there, and so I just think it's for them to go from not being in the playoffs to go to the NBA Finals.
That's what I'm saying, Kenny. Like,
that's. I mean,
why is the finals are bust right now?
Yeah, I just think it's maybe a year too soon. But to be fair, Phoenix did do it last year.
That's why I'm saying we can do it.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you something about that. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about Lonzo Ball. Hey, when he comes back, and they're going to let him come back. He'll be healthy when he comes back. But I'm going to tell you something. That meniscus tear, I'm telling you, don't be surprised if he goes down again with that meniscus tear. I'm just telling you. I'm not trying to put bad voodoo juice, but I'm telling you, for a guy from meniscus tears, I'm telling you, it's tricky. When you got that shock absorber and it ain't doing quite what you want it to do, that bone to bone, hey, okay, good luck with that, Ricky Bobby. Because let me tell you something. Unlike the MCL, the PCL, and the ACL, once you start removing it, it doesn't regenerate. And the more you take out, the more bone to bone you get. I'm just gonna put that out there. Do with that information what you want. We're gonna move on now. No, we're gonna move on because we got to move on. You just do with that. If you want to throw the trash can, throw the trash can. We'll revisit it when it comes back. Second full time.
Whatever you want to do.
Just be careful, Ricky Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we're gonna go into this last topic. It's our last topic of the night, and we've already kind of been talking about it, so it shouldn't be too much. Daryl Morey, has he passed up too many conversations for Ben Simmons? I think so. I think when he got that deal for 2 first rounders and Harrison Barnes and Thibault and so forth, and he passed it, he gave it up, and he said, "No, we're not going to do it." Now he's going to come out to social media and say that, "Hey, now that Embiid is playing so well, now we're going to look at it," but it's already kind of passed you by. I think he had the gift horse. He looked it in the mouth and he gave it the proverbial middle finger. Savannah, what do you think?
Honestly, I can't really talk on much on this because I feel like I personally don't really pay attention to the trade like right now. So I feel like anything I say would just be like BS.
All right, we'll skip you. All right, we'll skip you. Mike Hughes, what you got?
I hate Ben Simmons. I hate.
But did Daryl Morey? Did he look a gift horse in the mouth and pass it up?
I hate Daryl more. I hate him more because it's a conversation of this kid's personality is shit, and he's not on the court. So it's you're looking at his stock like he's some almighty god, but at the end of the day, the kid won't shoot, and the kid doesn't want to do this, and the kid doesn't want to do that, even though he can. And your stock is so high. You're not even going to get you're not even going to be able to trade Bron for the things that this man wants for Ben Simmons. Like, that's just the reality of it. No one's giving you 5 to 10 first-round picks for LeBron James, and no one's giving you 5 to 15 first-round picks for Ben Simmons. It's just not in the realm of possibility right now.
What did he ask for him?
Everything.
Oh.
They wanted Tobias Harris. No, they wanted. It was for. I think it was just for Simmons, wasn't it?
The Kings gave Buddy Hield and a couple other role players.
Thibault. They wanted Thibault. It was Thibault and Ben Simmons.
And 2 first-round picks for Tobias and Ben. But at the end of the day, if I'm Sacramento, I don't like that either because Tobias's contract is dog shit. So they were really trying to help him. And what Daryl's trying to do at the end of the day is get Tobias's contract off because where he messed up was staying with Tobias instead of Jimmy Butler. That was the big problem, and that's where everything's going right now is, and whose fault is that is Ben and Mike Brown. That's on them because they didn't like Jimmy. And at the end of the day, both of those guys, Mike Brown's gone and Ben's on his way out, and the one that's been to the NBA Finals since the immediate year after is Jimmy. And I think at the end of the day, honestly, if you can get someone like Siakam or someone like CJ McCollum or someone like that, just take your L and hold it with pride because you're not getting anything better than that. You're not getting Dame at this point, and you're not.
They're not getting Dame. There's no way they get Dame.
There's no shot they get Dame, and because Portland does not want to take on the money of Tobias Harris because they're already trying not to pay Dame. They're already paying CJ. They're already paying a bunch of guys who are hurt and unproductive. So I think he's screwed no matter what he does, and I think he did this to himself because it all started with Jimmy.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good assessment. Ray, let's move on to you, man. How do you feel about, do you think Morey, obviously is asking more for too much, and has he passed up the best deal he's going to get for what?
Absolutely. I forget where he was with what he could have got in the James Harden deal and some other deals. He's just an idiot. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. He's put his team in a bad position. He's having Embiid, and it's great that he got 50 in 27 minutes. But the rumors getting out is going to cause friction. Like, either make the trade or shut up. But having this stuff comes out when your team is battling. And I got to give Philadelphia a lot of credit, the players, because they just keep playing. And again, I said the East is deep, and they're in contention. They're playing well. They're not saying much. Once they had that dinner and then Ben was away from the team, the players have done well. But what are you looking to gain here? It seems like it's this pissing contest where he's just trying to look like I took advantage of someone. And at this point, you're getting taken advantage of and you're wearing down your team. And it's just unnecessary. Like, if there was a point or there was some logical explanation where you could get some superstar back, sure. That's not going to happen. So cut your losses, help your team be better. And I just think he's in his own way. Personally, if I was the team, I'd have fired him. Like, what has he done since he's been there?
You fire him and have the guy that you hire immediately trade Ben Simmons for whatever.
I think that's easy. Like, it's just Rich Paul flew out there to have the conversation. Nothing came of it. Like, you could have Skyped me for that. Like, it's just a mess. It looks dumb, and I don't see it going anywhere else. And I think they're going to come. The trade deadline is going to come, and as it gets closer to that deadline, the offers are going to get worse, and they're going to end up either getting stuck with Simmons, and he's not coming back. He's made that abundantly clear. All the rumors, the stuff that I believe that the Sixers put out saying he can't afford this and he hasn't managed his money well and all that, I think that's all Sixers team stuff. And Rich Paul, to me, and LeBron and all of them are smart people. They will make sure that young man is taken care of. He will eat this year, and he will continue to eat until he will wait out Daryl Morey. So one way or another, I think Daryl will be gone soon enough if he doesn't make this deal.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Especially the fact that he passed up on that whole Sacramento deal is going to come back to bite him in the ass big time.
He could have had Cam Reddish and someone else too. Atlanta offered them something, but he kept trying to package.
Man, he tried to throw the Tobias Harris. When you try to throw him in, that's what killed that deal.
You want to right your wrong about what you did with Jimmy, and it's just not going to happen. You got to eat it.
No, I think it's more.
All right, Kenny, what you got for us?
No, I was just gonna say, I think it's more so he's trying to right his wrong with James Harden. Like he saw that. I think he feels like he made that James Harden deal a little too quick.
Right.
And he didn't get enough. Excuse me, for James Harden. And so now he's trying to make up for that with this deal. And the ship has sailed. Like, it's too late for them. Like you
and honestly, Kenny, to your point though, like the original plan was bring in James Harden and then buy out Derrick Rose, and I think at that time, I think they go to the finals with that squad for the Eagles.
he should have took the Philly deal.
Yeah.
That was the deal. That was the best deal, probably the best offer that he got for James Harden. And he said, he passed that up, and then wound up getting a secondary offer, or a less appealing offer for Oladipo, who wound up not even signing back then and wound up hurting himself. But that's all the story for another show.
That's big.
But I said all that to say is that like you have to take. Now I will say this though. I'm not really a fan of that proposed deal with Sacramento because to me, you're just getting another version of Ben Simmons to me, like
Buddy
and Harrison Barnes.
Oh, okay. But I think Buddy's.
What do you mean?
Harrison Barnes shrinks in the playoffs. Harrison Barnes.
The question is being asked, Kenny. So you think that Daryl Morey is not overplaying his hand? That's what you're agreeing to.
No, I agree that he's overplaying his hand for sure.
Okay.
But I didn't like the proposed deal with Sacramento.
Right.
I didn't like that deal.
I like the Buddy Hill part of it though, because I think Buddy shoots.
I like the Buddy Hill part.
Let me ask you. You don't like 3 first rounders?
A smaller version of that in Steph Curry. And
Kenny, what I'm asking is, you don't like getting 2 first rounders?
You're just getting a bigger shooter that can't guard nobody.
Right.
Wait, hold on. I want to understand this for a second. So Sacramento offered at the best of it, they had 2 first rounders on the table. And we all know Sacramento is not the best team. So you're probably going to get a pretty damn decent.
I think they were protected
2 years in a row. So you don't think that turning down 2 really good picks in the first round is not worth it?
I think that's what Kenny's trying to say though, is like with the Sacramento deal is they were protected picks so that if Sacramento was bad.
Well, okay, and that's true. Okay. I didn't read the protected part. I just read that it was first. But what I saw was first round pick.
Stupid. Like they're dumb.
Well, they're not exactly smart either, though. Honestly.
Yeah, no.
But if you take
the Maluk family has not been smart for a while.
Let me ask you this, but let me say this though: if you put Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris with Bagley Jr., De'Aaron Fox, you don't think that can be a playoff team?
Oh, I mean, hey, anything can be a playoff team if you have good coaching and development.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think
and some good and halfway decent talent, you can make a team.
That's why I say that deal. I don't like it because those 2 picks will probably become late first round picks, and the guys that you're getting back, Halliburton can't shoot. Buddy Hill can shoot, but he can't guard. So you're putting in your backcourt, you're putting potentially two defensive liabilities in Steph Curry and Buddy Hield, and you're getting rid of probably your most consistent offensive player outside of Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. So I'm not sure how much that really improves your team. So
it's hard to say, right? Because you don't know who's going to be available at that pick. You don't know where that pick's going to fall. I mean, there's a lot of variables in that. But what if you are that person that actually gets a good pick and maybe he gets passed up and you pick that guy up? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's chances, right? Versus Ben Simmons, who or like you said, I mean, nobody who's going to give up anything?
I would take
honestly,
I would take CJ McCollum.
Well, you would, but are they going to offer him? That's the point. Are they going to offer him? You see what I'm saying? Nobody's offering what we think would be good.
No, I understand. I'm just saying. We're just talking. We're all talking.
Chicago will take Ben.
We're all talking.
But for who? Okay, Chicago did for who? What are you going to give up?
Neighborhood crackhead and a bag of shorts.
Hey, that might work, right?
The money won't match on that deal, so sorry.
Yeah, hey, Ray, you're undervalued.
We don't know how much crack he's packing. He might be.
My guys.
If he has enough crack to match Ben Simmons' deal, he's probably.
Listen. Somebody learned how to keister. Somebody learned how to keister, but it's okay. That's a topic for another show on a different day. Hey, listen. Hey, guys, we got to wrap this thing up, man. Freddie's not here. I'm going to wrap this thing up for us. Hey, don't forget to check out ASAP Plus. Don't forget to check out, the seminar, I can't say that damn word. The Senseis. The Sports Senseis. Don't forget to check out the Sports Senseis and all the other shows that we have on Tiki, that we have on Roku. Facebook, God, you name it, man, we're out there. Find us on ASAP. And this is Real Talk, and we've kept it, I think, for the most part, pretty damn real. And we'll see you guys on it is Thursday. We'll see you guys on Monday. And you guys have a good night. Peace out. We'll see you next time.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation.